agasiki k'umwaka musha abumviriza aba UBC West EMPIKAHOONA bakuzaniye agasiki k'umwaka musha wa 2024 kazabaho iminsi 13 y'ukwezi kwa mbere umwaka wa 2024 mu gisayo ca Kakeka. Hazabaho gutsindira impano nyinshi k'imodoka nshasha, amasimu ya smart, amagare, radio, za t-shirts, ingufire ndetse n'ibindi byinshi. Gura ticket yo gutsindira imodoka ku bihumbi 10 by'amashiringi gusa, kandi ticket nyinshi zagura niyo mahirwe menshi yo gutsindira iyo modoka. Ibindi bizakorwa birimo umupira w'ubushuti, iminyenga y'abana yite bouncing castle, umucundebo, abaririmbyi benshi kabuhariwe kuva mu gice cy'uburengerazuba bwa Uganda na Kampala, ndetse n'ibindi byinshi. Kurya, kunywa, kunezerwa byose uzabisanga mu gasiki k'umwaka musha wa 2024. Kwinjira ni umutwaro umwe, ticket isanzwe VIP ni imitwaro 2 kandi meza ni imitwaro 50 z'amashiringi ya Uganda gusa. Muze mwese tunezerwe hamwe mu gasiki k'umwaka musha wa 2024.
Specifications contracts za government nicho kurebera mu Tanzania. Orugudo magufura kajati tihino rugudo rurakogwe rukurenga 5 years. Kwa bataka basa kora contract y'urugudo rukurenga 5 years ekimanyiso gorugudo ruza kuba inefficient.
Human Rights Committee bakemera bagambira government kuyabireta hikire okutera abantu abo no kubatera tear gas.
Abakazi ne batyobwora mu Uganda waza kutunga statistics mu mabanks. Abakazi abakuzo bakatunga akasente bakakehorayo ne bache munonga ahabo kuba tibine korato. Now ejo domestic relations mwagisiga ecyaryaho ecyajumire parliament ya mwenda ekaremo eyikumi yaremo nangwe eyikumi nemwe toragitungire mu mushango wabo kuba no parliament ecyana kugambe bwaboza specificity y'amateka agebaguze agebakoze.
Omukazi oryo mwana w'umushiki so yafatu abasafunga mugabo ahacumanja cyasho tubyacho nebindi naro oryo mukazi omushija kafa abanyabuzare bakakubinga ngo ugende bakekorera ibintu byona eco kibere kige twitsinze kuri munonga ecabe kiryo mu ejobire ya marriage and divorce bill eventually karo yawaza kureba ebisigiro mu marriage and divorce bill niwe noja kureba musanga the issues are already catered for.
DEC district umurimo gw'umukuru tukicira president konga umurimo gw'umukuru no kushuganisa kureba ngo emirimo eya government ye kubane yakora mu district ne yakorwa no manyango ne cyakabi DEC nibamuheta ngo ajya commissioning project na wahinyirire mpare ninge biteteye zayo ahika commissioning project atera hefuka okiza yo kumonitoringa wa mbuzo tu project yo commissioning ne ya sente zingahe ezo nabana azimanye sente ogiro timwesh plan ya yera ati bakaginyorekire kasho commissioning iki ucommissioning kiwe kashko raze kurambara baze ngubura kombe kishomero rya UP ininga rya US ininga seed school ninge choroni ne cyafuti zingahe esente wazimanye yi kunkane cyafuti zingahe choroni chibakuza futimba oshange nibyo biryoko
reka kuzahayo kandi wazi kushaba mugambi omba police ati nayo ntumanya ngo police nayo ntumanya ngo ekora konka tugezeho okureba ngo nabo twabagamba the government ebone kubakoraho tubone twatereza NCA chaba wabunama wazahayo mpora omanye ngo ihanga ni woriyo no yongera kurita
EMPIKAHOONA urekeraho manyungu amagara ngakira ubururu kandi ubururu numba n'umuronda ngo mburabe mu kwebembera abantu konka tukubeita entaro nezacyo kuronda karuru nko kufana ukira nga ubuhereza tukuba buronda ubuhereza burgar hanga ngume muzeyo hanga kwara korabyemu kurutara bamubire ejo yabyita time yawe
esente za service delivery nizishohoze bwazahandi no mu rupapura hatamu amuhakaniza kega kuzihandika mu rupapura ataho release muzitaho izo beri kurara released nibwo bakurara bazigabinde ushanga kanso ya district stage izo bajya ngo release ngai babanze bashitamaka kunga becika samu hayo mbara ninga kai bakirugaho beta kanso iriyo yona babatamu batamu parani esente bazigabana zikwaho bazitema zo baceza kutema abantu abamwe batematemera sente eziba kubohereza barenga kuzitema batema na office hariho umushaba w'umunyankore nagamba nabo bakabagira ururimi rwabo urwo kurya bakajya ngo warira mu office ureke kurya office ko wariya office nevaho ubura n'icyo wari nico kibiriho mu za district zimwe.
Program tuhanure buri rwamkaga aha UBC West EMPIKAHOONA.
Kutarabe tuizire kwebembera ninga kurepresentinga president mu cyange seme kusavinga interest y'abanya-Uganda. Government yayatsindika sente kuyamba abantu aha ground wana yinki konkiwo kenda kuzikoze moreover civil servant kandi akakwata sente akaziri so ni jumirira ekintu kikwaterena na corruption. Konka no manyangu no kubona permit hato muntu ine sente takwetaga no kuza kushoma nabona driving permit ariyo muka turine mbabiro ko mutawu no muno mujyo tunyenda driving permit ostamo mukatoka zagana steering toka koragana chi toka koragana examination yona na test yona IOV na bamukubuza to kumanya toka zagana ruguto umuntu akuretera permit yo janoro nda permit ko wa traffic konka to rukwenda kumanya ogojine wakagitungata so ezo nizo accidents zo benoreba so haba hakiriho corruption sebo in this country haba hakiriho corruption no traffic ebe obamureta express penalty scheme rikushaki obamukora kine kiri improving
umwe mukama wa bus nari mukama wa taxi tuwaku bakoze rensho beje we nagura motoka jo muntu koka wagenda ko rensho bi ahi mukama wa bus ataziri cyatari oshanga mukama wa bus na ashashura rensho be zatakumanya kandi oshanga uri abakamwe bandiko ngo azanguto ebandiko bamuhire mu iteruza government ni ya muhire niyo kushizime byona kuko shanga stiro orupanishingwa tuwakoze rumuntu nangwe kikakibire kirungi kugira ngo umuntu we no rakore rensho be ekishobye cye bakitadriving permit abe n'uyija kashashura konka no borya no bar kukitaho motoka kibaneta ambara abajemereza kandi bagiye he namba bagisparking kandi cyo kushanga n'ebyenshobi
Iyewe biraje byo mnogambe bya express penalty scheme yo kuniye byo mnogamba ni story ndijo aba bayanga kubagambira akwani babatina ni mukoragana n'abanyonyi zakabagambira amazima oworare bakuretere chipapuro go no wabime sente owayanga kubaha ka sente ogwecho nico chipapuro cyo rarebe orabahereza ka sente echipapuro torakirebe sebo omushija omwana weta kubasa kubara kuzayishomero ngo no watrafiki rero ngo yaza kuhereza chipapuro rero ngo sente zo akasayija ngo economy tingira accident iriyo kateka yango naza kwate chipapuro cyandike rero sente zo mbanka rero wasiba guto na huba efrembe nebindi so the level of corruption in traffic is too much.
Abantu bakabane baparkinga imihanda hagati omuntu nalite motoka nagisiga muhanda ati nenyendeke ya rero betukuruga radio turubatemu mu town orura abantu banga abaparkingira muhanda hagati yitunga police tetukumanya eyo stage site ekajigazetinga tokusobora kubanza notabutaho kwata abantu tokumanya oba stage eri gazetted oba teriki gazetted kuba stage bwe kuberi gazetted ni bayikirizwa okutikiraho abantu ba kuba state authority bakuba ne batungaho revenue okusikira abantu aba bakutikiraho ati nyowe ng'omusirikare akurabaho emotoka eri arubaje eri a stage teri ya muhanda tinkusobora kumukwata nti ochoira omusango
itwo mwishengero ibiragire biturukora ibyinjibiro go mutekeno kurati mu parliament nibikamu just pano beating akwa nabingi ba MP ntibatakubicenga so ititwe input yitukutamu nahi bakubikora first reading bakaza kubiteko mu committees keta abantu nkaba ngo bagire ba contributinga tukabera byo ka parliament noshanga input yito ubiro bwingeringi ibingi niba byarigera twine biragiro birungi muno konka Uganda twine kizubu cyo kwibye enforcement we are not consistent in enforcement amatekano gabagaruho konka habwa abakubiteko mu nkora siyo bwire ukashutu babirugaho none ushute kiragiro cyaragaho utokashangira ibiho mibyona byijira abo ko ibaragiro byo abantu bazomusa umucyacu bashoma bazomakerezi y'abashoma bazomiziki bashoma konka shino jya baryo mbihome n'abatazamugize n'abatazankahi so ningira ngo kushemesebwa kusemeye kwa kuru korabe wakozere enshobi ombutamanya bwawe koko zo mukoti bakugira ngo nkakikora ombutamanya
abantu kuzarwa kwabo no kukura kwabo no kutunguka kwabo tukurukwingana na nembere ruho kugira ngo twena tubeje konka amazima gijwire mu Uganda harimo abantu abarumunu babaje abarumunu beyongera kubaje kandi harimo n'abantu nangwa abarumunu beyongera kuba kubi ahabo kuba hatarihengamba eru kugira ngo iti survival zorerisho niwo karebo korabeho
nakora msya omuhurikiza weito murungi yabari guma a radio yihanga UBC West EMPIKAHOONA ebiro ni 16 byo kwezi ku 12 omwaka 2023 izoba niryo rwa mukaga program ntuhanure program eji nero rwa mukaga abwe shaha 3 ntandika shaha 2 ntandika shaha 3 izakasheshe twirukanga tuhindira shaha mukaga zihangwe. Iki ni kiganiro cyatwena nk'abanya Uganda aha kuba nturite kitekateko nka management ya UBC West EMPIKAHOONA tureta abahanuza mu studio hazani yokabire no boyizire konka ahabwo kugira ngo umwanya numuke tukabasa kushuturira hangari na twarite mu studio aho rukuborohona tuganira niwe umuringo gwa karmagezi niye nshonga bwinshi ntwikereza oteresimu otereze kitekateko cyawe ahanshonga iyi turi kuba tuganiraho omukashashaka obuturyo mu matwenje gano hiri ntwenda kona ahanshonga y'ibintu bya plastic obucupa amadomora overa na nebindi okutwakobasa kubereberera je ekizibu ekyakobasa korwa mu okubereberera kubi niki kandi ebirungi ebyakobasa korwa mu kubereberera je byo nibiha tushangire ngo ebintu ebya plastic harimo ibintu binje birunje byakobasa korwa mu konka abantu baitu nanyimbarirwe mu tutukubimanya kokweza kunywa amezi akacipoka nagahiwa abanda kijiroto waza omukatare wagura ibintu babu kutera omukavera ahiwa katambikana haho konka okubireberera je nikimanyisa ki kandi okubireberera kubi nikimanyisa ki ahamagara gaitu nkabantu mumaka gaitu ahabyo bahangwe bitwetorire nkamabeho ebebera ebishararana nebindi bineka kwateki na nejura yero kugwa ikameze byo kurya byito kabereberera ebyo byona omuthanure yizoberi nza kongera kabisimba hakati akubantu manyi kiro kumanyisa aha mataka gaitu hamwe no kubaho ko muntu nkeyiwe hamwe nanye okureberera ebintu bya plastic ibyo bitakujunda kandi bitari byoma twine abajanya butwesere omwe omurubo yashiraha ninza kuba nimba kwanjurira omwe ahande ijo nkoko barije konka twatanisa na Kenneth no muhangu za kongera kumwetegereza konka no muhangu umukureberera ibintu bya plastic no kubukoresa kurungi yashira dikambanze muyikereza kuramutse dero tutandike kurungi ikiganiro cyito ijuka ngweje ni UBC West EMPIKAHOONA niwe ndi Joash Muhanje no mwina kabucika twakwakira Kenneth
webare umwami Joash for the benefit of those who are listening to English we are going to be mixing this is a radio station, a national radio station based in Western Uganda. Konka hine enkora yito atekaho aruha abantu abari aha WhatsApp aha Zoom link. So abarya Zoom bariyo batureba ikishani nkoro kureba TV or those who are on Zoom are watching us live as we communicate. So this is a training, an online training, the first of its kind. We are in a radio station but also connecting to Zoom. So we are going to see how to interpret for those who cannot follow in both languages, our local language and in English, for the benefit of the people who are listening into. As the host, Pluawaste Consult has notified a number of people, which includes the vice chancellors, the urban council leaders, that's the mayors, and the town clerks, the chief administrative officers, environmentalists, waste managers, different people across the country are watching. So I'm sure those who are on Zoom, you're following, and we are in the studios practically talking about plastic waste management. There are a number of issues that we are going to discuss. My colleague is already here with us, who is going to handle issues of plastics and health, and that's Dr. Gad Ruzaza. You're welcome. Thank you. So we are going to start up immediately. I hold different titles, but by profession I'm an urban planner, practicing waste management consultant who has specialty in plastics management, but I'm also a non-fiction academic author in the area of waste management, and particularly plastic waste, where we've authored a book titled Wealth from Plastic Waste, second edition. I work both in Uganda and Rwanda, and we are members of Uganda Manufacturers Association. For those in the local language, mainly I am an urban planner, nanga ndi omuntu akuteka teke vuga narba physical planner kuteka etown zito mbuteka kandi ombantu abakuchondozo mbinte bukwatirine na kasasiro nanga ebya plastics. But we are going to try and see how we can cater for both groups, but we will practically be showing the things that we are talking about, especially the products as we go along. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Yabari Munonga Kenneth yana koresera Ungereza ubundi kuna kwenda kurabera mukace no kwisi ngo no mumbajenyi abututaya yise mu studio aha kandi no muhangu okorangwe ndembo zarebeka kurunji no muhangu urukwera ningashuka twegesa okutwakubasa ko okuhindura ebyo bya plastic tukiyama empiha twakwasa kubukoresa kurunji kandi ni regional leader, team leader wa Pluawaste Consult Limited kitongore cinchirwanisa nikindegeza okutwakubasa koresa kurunje byo bahangwa kandi no kubirindaje obo turukoresa kurunji ebintu bya plastic nchikorero mu Uganda hamwe no mu ihanga erya Rwanda ariyo mu studio kandi no mwegesa aharengo rwa university echukumasangwe cyaro kugamba na cyetegereza munonga so Kenneth munondo gundi yenda kutwara mu gishogu kongera kwakira aha radio yanga cyo washumahanje mwene kabucika n'inyenkwine ondijo mugenyi owizire Dr. Gad Ruzaza ogo no mushayija otwire na yegesa ihanga no mushayija urukwetegereza okutwakubasa kubaho akakoreye bakajya twonkeke kigenda kubi bweno kandi no mushomesa kandi no mucondoza kandi nawe naje kubona atwera ekiri kumanyisa wakoresa kubi ibintu bya plastic ahamagara gaito kandi no kubyakubasa koresa bwaje tukaguma namagara marungi. Dr. Gad Ruzaza twakwakira ramsi umurikiriza
ninyenda kutwara mu gishogo kubakira no kushemererwa no kusima Kenneth munyani witu habwo rugendo rwo tutambwire turi kureba ngo embera z'abantu zayongera kubaje. Ninyenda kutwara mu gishogo kusima government ya Uganda habwo kutereza umugisha go kumani twegesa abantu turi kubahugura oku tomisho umusingi gw'amagara ngaruke nsime munonga abegesa na munonga abururengo rwa university nkambara University of Science and Technology aho mazirubwire ndi kwegesa abantu ko buryo mwe wena ari kubasa kugira cyakora kutungura amagara g'abantu go muntu ntwaro mugisha kusiima obwebembezi bwa UBC EMPIKAHOONA habwo kutiyamba umurimo muhango gwo kuguma nituhugura abantu okuturage nambwenu ntebirwe kusiima gavumenti yatireho obusinje ekataho empereza nkeji ya UBC West kugira ngo tugume twegesa abantu ebyo kugenda mu misho development. It is my singular duty and honor to salute the leadership of the state of Uganda and to acknowledge the resilient contribution of the government of Uganda led by the current leadership of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his party, the National Resistance Movement, for so far a very good job well done. I thank you.
Yabari Dr. Gad nomwegesa omwitendekere yambara University of Science and Technology. Mwena nyendaga ko kache owa Kenneth. Twantugamba plastic ntumanyisa ki?
Now, to begin with, whenever we see plastics, it's an indicator that we've tampered with our natural environment. Nanga bulukureba ekintu kibakweta plastic echo nchimanyisa ngu hino okutwashisha okwensesheme kuberi tukatimba ebya plastics mbirgomu oil. All plastics originate from the remains of crude petroleum. So when we are talking of oil mining, put in mind that one of the products are these plastics that we are seeing. Plastics ezo harumu ebika bibiri okubanza. We have two major categories of plastics. We have plastics that are recyclable, and there are those that are not recyclable, meaning those that can be able to melt or turn into other resources, and those that cannot. There are two categories of plastics: thermoset plastics and thermoplastics. Nanga ebika bibiri tinkumanya okuna kubasa kubishobora je abokuba ejin science konkombu mpimpi abantu abineza soketi wakwata socket okakwata akasyo karabeho wareba nari nkentebe arho ezo kwata nkakasyo wagezo kugishara okareba hakunkumuko buntu buri nkachoka. Or if you try to get the plastic, you get a knife, try to cut that type of plastic, giving an example of a thermoset from bakelite material. Now, this is an example of like the old sockets we used to have. Of course, currently there has been a change. When you try to cut that socket, it will produce things called brittle chips, as if you are releasing chalk dust, things that look like chalk dust. That type of plastic is the thermoset plastic. That type of plastic cannot be recycled. It is made in a state that it cannot be reproduced because it cannot melt. In the recycling factories, such plastics go through the process of being reheated or remelted to form different types. Then tugira ekike kindi echebe byokubasa kukoramu ebintu ebindi ezonzo zikweta thermoplastics. Kokugeza okushara plastic ejo katugambe nk'ekijirikani wakwata omusyo kageza okushara obuntu obukunkumuka kucwekaho nobaburi nkomuntu wano share nono zawe omurujungu ntubweta shirivers. Ejo niyo tukweta shiriva test. In English is called shiriva test. We are talking about the second type of plastic, the thermoplastic, the ones that are recyclable. They can be remelted, they can be formed into different shapes. So with such a plastic, if you get a knife and cut an example, a jerkin, I will be giving you different types in brief. you get a jerrycan material or a jerrycan or a basin, cut a small piece of a jerrycan. When you get a knife and you try to cut that jerrycan, it will produce small pieces as though you've cut your fingernails, like the shape of the fingernails. Now these are called shrivers. When you get that type of plastic producing those kinds of shapes, the cuts, it's an indicator that that type of plastic can be recycled. But those that is one type. But there is another type to know the test to do to know which type of plastic it is. Nanga type endijo no kwata omuro ejo ntujeta ban test nanga muriro test. No kwata omuro waguteka plastika wareba neyaga nchimanyisa ngo ejo type ya plastic no baso kugire ekinde kiwagikoramu konka wateka homuro type ya plastic ejo okareba yaza nko busirira nko bukara konketa yagire nkeza socket mwazirebere hazo spark nara amashanyazi gayetera okareba ebe bya black buri nko busirira wazo konketa etayaga hata ipejo ya plastic ne yoreka nguteka korwa mwechindi. For the understanding in English, the thermoset, there is another test you can do to differentiate between the recyclable and non-recyclable. Now this other test is called the burn test, where you expose the sample of plastic to heat or to fire. The type of plastic that will melt is an indicator that is recyclable, because even the heating system in the process of recycling, it will be subjected to heat to form it into to make it get into different forms. So alternatively, the other one, which is not recyclable, we say that it chars. It does not burn, it chars. I gave an example in our local language that an example of a socket that gets sparks, or in case of short circuits, you get that type of plastic that forms those chars. It doesn't melt while you're trying to burn it. It burns but doesn't melt. Now that type of plastic cannot be recycled. Others know the melamine plates, another example. Others get chairs. Why am I giving these examples? For purposes of protecting the environment. If you're buying a chair, notice whether it is a recyclable kind of chair, because they have arrows, chasing arrows, that can show you whether that type of plastic is recyclable. You will see some of those signs if you have a cowboy tin or margarine tin. Check down, you will see some chasing arrows with code 5. If you get a mineral water empty down, you will see that recycling symbol. The chasing arrows, there are 3. You will see code 1, you see the abbreviation PET. So that is how you can easily distinguish the major categories of plastics. But now, to talk about the plastics types for better understanding, nanga kugeza okwetegereza types za plastics, tuine eiba kweta PET. These are mineral water bottles in simple terms. Nanga ekitukweta PET obweno obucupa nari obunanka bwa soda, obukurugamu soda na nobukurugamu amizi. Ejo ni type emwe ya plastic. Haza negendera code 1. So if you actually have a mineral water empty, check at the bottom of the bottle. You're going to see arrows chasing each other. There are 3 arrows down. We call them the recycling symbol. It has number 1 in the middle. Now, that type of plastic belongs to code 1. And down, it can be abbreviated as PET, P-E-T, or P-E-T-E, depending on different companies, but it means the same thing, polyethylene terephthalate. Now, that is another language that we can use, a technical language, to categorize that type of plastic. There are several. So, vinegar bottles, I'm just giving a few examples. Nanga umbandu kwetegereza obucupa bwa soda obwo buri omu group emwe norebaho akanyuguta namba emwe ahansi y'akacupa ko kureba ansi y'akacupa noza kushangayo enamba rero enamba emwe haza hariho tuntu tushatu tuketorire haza hansi hariho PET hatejo ni type emwe eya plastika eyitukweta PET. So hatobwe turiyo ntoreka ebike bikuru ebiryo mu Uganda. Then we get another type of plastic which is for code 2, that is HDPE. An example is like jerrycans. For those in the country in Uganda, you see these jik bottles and the like. So mainly they have code 2 and abbreviation of HDPE at the bottom or others on top. And some basins, some buckets indicate that, but because of some laxity in some of the standards, some people have used the basins and taken on the code 5. But generally, originally, it was that the basins and the jerrycans were in that category. And of course, under HDPE, we have two kinds of plastics. We have HDPE below, BLOW. HDPE below are these types of plastics with small opening on the top. I will, if those you've seen jerrycans, of course, it has a small opening. Then we have HDPE injection. Those are basins and buckets with wide opening. I don't want to explain technically on this on what actually happens, but just take it like that. I'm literally giving a simple example. No meetings, those ones have wide opening at the bottom. Those with small opening are the ones that belong to HDPE below. And when it comes to selling such plastics, you will need to know that the prices differ. So different categories of plastics attract different prices out there, because these that I'm talking about, the category of thermoplastic, now those are the ones that are recyclable and they have market. So I'm trying to communicate to us that as government, as leaders, we shouldn't focus on plastics that cannot be recycled. Like melamine is a bakelite, so even a furnace cannot burn it. So some people are producing or importing chairs that cannot be recyclable. So we need to have an understanding of the plastics, that if you buy plastic chairs and they break down, you're able to turn them into a resource. So it is very important when you're trying to invest wisely, and at the end of it all, that type of plastic we turn into a resource. Nangomba in our local language, nangom ritu, na ninjezo kushobora ngu ebijirikani ni type ndish, harumu ebijirikani, harumama beseni, harumama bucketi, ebyo biryo mu category ya HDPE. HDPE. Hazan hariho nambibiri, na jangware bahansi ejirikani naro mwamutwe abakureba bwa obucupa ebikurugamuza oiro mu garage, obo byona biryo mu groupe ya kabiri category 2. Hatezo codes ezindi yo ningambaho nezikwetegerezwa rengo rensi yona. All these codes we are talking about are internationally recognized codes. Each country you go to, you simply say a plastic code this, the abbreviation. These are international recognized codes, and the plastics originate from the US. So we need to have an understanding that what we are following is something that has been adopted. These are international standards that are set, that once you include a code, someone should be able to identify with you which type of plastic it is. Nanga ebyebina nishoboraho jangu plastic ejo ezo standard neza rengo rihanga kugira ngu ebituriyo ntugambaho nebintu ebikwetegerezwa nobwakubori oriza America, nobwakubori China, nobwakubori India, bona nibaza kubyetegereza wajiro plastic ya code emwe, plastic ya code 2, plastic ya code 3 nibabamba kichenga. Then tugira plastic we get ezo types tubukushana ebijirikane ne bucket norebe ebijirikane ebidomora bino obunwa buce obukushohorezaho. Then ebeseni nange bucket eine ekinwa kihango so aha nkushoborera ekinwa cyangwa echo niyo bakweta HDPE injection, then twine HDPE blow. So ejo HDPE blow nebe bujirika nebi notunwa tuche nanga HDPE injection nebi nkechi beseni bucket bine ekinwa cyango kandi omba kugura za plastic seza kasasiro kuyama akasente tibukushanisa beyi ebeyi tekwingana ingane bidomora bine ebeyi ayiguninjani mukimanya wasigo ekidomora cyo kikuru ebibikaba biryo mu amataka gitu nkayiko nkatu wachinago tochangaho noreba abantu nibija bakubihambyo na bakubitoto so nentebe nazo zikaziryo mu group ejo konkazija batandika gukora mwezi ndeziryo mu group ndije kugambira. Then we get on to the third one, which is PVC plastics. I need us to understand that this is not a normal talk show as much as you see us in the studio. We already told us that we need to get pens and notebooks because this is an online training, the first of its kind. We are trying out this technology to see how it works. So we are on code 3. That is PVC plastic with chlorine content. PVC is for number 3, and others abbreviate it as V, vinyl polymer, or PVC, polyvinyl chloride plastic. That type of plastic, those who see Dettol, the type of plastic has a relationship with PET or mineral water empties, as you see. But mainly the difference sometimes are the shapes, the oval shape that you see within that type of plastic, but it belongs in different categories. I may not exactly show you, but if you try to break that plastic, it will show whitish folds in the middle, in the type of plastic as you break it, and it's a little bit hard when you're trying to break that type of plastic, and it's also not meant for food grade. We've seen people packing crisps in plastic sheeting that is transparent. Others pack in PVC, which is very wrong. When you try to tear that type of plastic, it is hard to tear. And that strength that as you try to tear it, you even see whitish folds in that type of plastic. Now, such a plastic should not be used. I'm speaking to people who package foods.
abone ko wakona waturikiriza ejeni UBC West EMPIKAHOONA Kenneth nazagumiza mahu yashika ko kana nyenda kwizya nguturuhu tugamba aha kintu cha plastics nokutwa kubasa kuzikuma kandi nokutwa kubasa kuzikoresa je tukabasa kuyame birungi reka mazena kusiyobora ngo buce riri wanyuma Kenneth agumizemo naho yashika utakarugaho program tanure
kunkashimuzei wena kunyigire kutakinda museje ihine bikushobire mwana wanje ngasturese nyino mu mubiri gwanjye tindi kumanye cyakuginyi hamu kandi obwe n'umucyara agenyi mawena tayine manye mbwenu nyawote ndi kumanye genda ho nari kuri heyi ugure cyo kunywa cyatayebwa ariko rikombocha aho naho kigotomere ushari stress utandike kuganira nabandi kuboneza munda kongera kamwenya amatama eco ni kinywibwa abayiguru y'imyaka 18 kandi cyamibwa aba NBS ubunzi bwacu buryo mu kacupa wakacuncumura batokanywaho ntebeza yegoko utebwa ngo wabanota umukazi wabo mutwarire tayebwa nani ariko uri kukombocha yejo ne mariro enuzire kandi nengera basirikare bo mubiri we no hurira wabaje oshemererwa ebyo kunywebi nibikogwa batayebwa Health Products Limited abari kushangwa muri kashasha yo muri itojo argutogwa akabare umuri ntunga mu district wari kwenda kushubura teresime ya 0 mushanju 11 kaga na mushanju kinana ni 3 nange ya 0 mushanju mukaga 3 08 kaga nemwe 3 ndeni wantambi nandi kubi reka mburondobwe bona mucuncumure no mukazi mutwarireho
UBC West era kwisaba program tanuri jihamireho otungo kumanyisibwa ko mutano kandi okwamazina
Toronto kutwa kubasa okureberera ebintu bitu bya plastic ebirunje bitwa kubasa kuyamu kana no buremezo bitwa kubasa kubugana obundi twabukoresa kubi. Kenneth aramuna tukambira emiringo ya plastic sezituyino mu ihanga kandi akabaka kubasa kurugamu nakonza kwika hansa utuketegereze mwena nikushabango guma radio Kenneth na kweda chika nkishatu banga bangura bwanyuma ndete Dr. Gad na wayongero yebare.
I will try to see how to summarize, but it is important we understand the types of plastics. I really will not so much rush, because after that we will rush through other things, but we need to understand the category. Now, the PVC plastic, as I was giving an example, we have the old carpets, we have old shoe soles. They are in that type of plastics. Then we have code 4, which is low density polyethylene. Now, LDPE, like for drip bottles, they are in that category. We've seen the plastic bags that are used for packaging bread. Those are food grade. They are in that category. So I can briefly go through that. It is within that, as I've communicated to you. You take it to be code 4 with LDPE as an abbreviation. Then we go on the next type, which is for code 5. That is PP, polypropylene. An example is like Blue Band tins. They have those codes. Code 5. If you have a Blue Band tin or Coco tin or Bonvita or those other for beverages, you check down under such a tin, you will see code 5 with abbreviation PP. That is another type of plastic. Even straws are into that type of plastic. That is code 5. Then we have code 6, which is before code 6, even yogurt tins are also PP. You find most of them are made in PP. Then we have polystyrene, PS, for code 6. Now, under code 6, you have PS like those who used to see saffitins, some egg trays, some of the TV shells, and the like. So we have different categories falling under that group PS, which is polystyrene. Now, I also want to warn that for those who use these other tins that look like yogurt tins, they easily get torn apart, and when you burn them, they have flying soot, which is very dangerous because of the styrene material, and some of them are known to cause aggravated asthma. We'll be talking about it. You see, they have a certain character. If you've seen these packages, the white things that come holding the TVs, the laptops and the like, these white things, this is called PS also, but it is expanded polystyrene. If you check, you're going to see the codes. If you pick that small piece and you burn it, even if it's a small piece, it has flying soot in the air and it stays for quite a long time. So those are very dangerous plastics when it comes to burning. Of course, I'm not saying there's any particular plastic that we are supposed to burn that is healthy. No, all plastics are not meant to be burnt. And then the other categories, other or mixed plastics. Those ones are a little bit technical, but there are several. A mattress belongs under that type of plastic. It's called PU, under code 7. Then we have PA, PA under code polyamide plastics, is like nylon material. We have PMMA, we have ABS, acrylonitrile, butadiene, styrene. So they are about 7 also under mixed plastics. Those are not very common. Of course, we know the baby feeding bottles also lie under under mixed plastics, which is PC, polycarbonate. You will see code 7. So I will explain more on better use of those plastics. So those are the main categories that I can pick out that are common in Uganda. In our local language, na nasya code 3 kuraba mujuba nadangware bo bucupani bwenda kushanko bwa mizi konka shape yayo teri round te torire konka wagezo kuhende cyo plastic nchibarabaruka kanchi zamwe bintu birinke bya white nibagikora mu chlorine kone manyisi bwa waiza kujosa nerugamu eba kweta dioxins and furans kuraza za cancer. kandi harimu na nebe ebya kapete bikukira kutagatahuka munonga biri omu PVC zimwe za susoro zo kureba za soro z'enkiito eza plastic ey'okutaheka yaga neberi plastics nezimwe ziri nka za nigina n'obumwe bwa IV tubes nebe byokushukisa amaizi hose pipes byona biri omu group egyo ya PVC. Then twaza LDPE ya code ya kana code 4 ni nkakavera kakomugati koroberemu munonga okureba kari ya harovera nubwahurana obo bwa black na green tubukushanana nubwa white no kukakwata kari yan kayomba munonga aka green na colors ezindi no black then buriyo bwo mugati wakakwata tukakuyomba munonga ndiyo njasuko ekice cyo kurebera okamanyisa nkarish konka nabomba bahandikaho konka tubukushana omunjire bakuba babukozeremu so naninjira ngu abamwa bakupakinga za crisps narubwa gonjobu bakabuto mukavera no shanga harahaba kukosa PVC waza kuchaka vero kareka guma munonga karumuke ibintu bya white omanyengu nakabi abo kuba akakavera tubashime kubantu bakakosa so mbona bakore ibintu byo kupakinga bashime kwebuza ha UNBS bakabashobora overo bukwikirizwa kutekamu ebintu byo kuribwa then tugira code 5 ejo erumunke ebichebe bya blue band za flaska za cocoa na hidden type abakubani barundana plastics mkwenda kuzuguza tumukubijwanzya then ejo code 5 tuza code 6 obo nkobwa yogurt eryo muri eje ya code 5 na blue band konka twine obo bundo buce obukwenda kushana nkobwa yogurt konka wakose anoreba haruga motuntu tukwiragura tuguma omwanya munonga then tuza group ya muheru ejo yeri mwebichweke bingi ni code 7 konkeri mu bunyanto bw'abana bajeta PC harumu ABS nangwana numfara sogo kubyamira nago ni plastika ni bajeta PU polyurethane then na nezindi ebyo biri mo technical babiri more science rwingi konka twine kebindi nkamushanju ahansi ya other mixed plastic so just na yenda kuraba mujuba umucetedereze nguza plastics ziryombeka bitari bimwe na bimwe ebindi ntuza kongeraho umutekateko rundo rutubinire kubasa kwetedereza okutukubasa kwawuramu plastics na okutukubasa kuzitwara zo miringo etari emwe nemwe
yabare munonga
kongashe abaturikize tutakagira kindi kintu cyo kuganira ha plastics hari plastics zo mu runyankore kibaci mu runyankore rukiga ucorobya because unoreba ibintu bikaruge seri kandi ibintu birukuroga eseri hino kubiri kuhindura embera zitu so nyena indi kushaba twaza kutwara akanya kace nija kushagika munonga Kenneth tumusime mwamura nagamba ayino busasi bwinji abwo kunyangarara kwabanza bukozesa akavera abwo kuba government yitekagezaho kucondoze cinteki izina ryawe nk'eryabura so twazaha kintu akavera kandi akavera niryo jambo rimwe ryiriya mu kinyarwanda kuko akavera mu kinyarwanda i Rwandaho barakanze kandi muri kureba mpinduyeho kuko nje ngira ngo aho Mr. Tumusime Kenneth ncangire no kugira ngo tutwira twineho program y'urufumbira turi kwigisha abantu iby'ubuzima kandi dutangiriye nabwo muri byiza kaminuza na University ya Mbarara University aho dukoraga imirimo kandi Kenneth we tukija twakwantanisa wa kintu cyo kutungura umutindo gw'abantu kumanya akabika plastike kashanga na igesa nondijo munywane we Ntaro Moses oturukora hamwe twayenda ngo nitubasa kombeke kintu cha research aha plastics kugira ngo abantu bazerinde kwa ziri makabi kandi kindi twayenda ngo tukwatanise tukwase umushijogo abwo kombeka interest ye niyo ko nahura nagamba nareba ngo ari ibintu byo kunonosora byo kushobororamo mboye nunke cyo yatugambira types nyinji yarakoze science nyinji konka itwa bashomerema kantu ka media and health, media and communication okorobereza abantu kwetegereza hati nincamu tukutwara ndakika nk'itanu icyo kubanza Kenneth Ogu akandika kitabo naceshangira aha hari Kenneth wacete kitabo no manya kuri tukaba twacesera ikindi ate kitabo cha Alex tumusime Kenneth sore Alex arya wagiye tumusime Kenneth kitabeki ari kucandika akoreka ngo wealth from plastic waste mbwenu wakoze sakavera no kuba mugiga kandi rizoba yayena ngaza hakintu kigumangine cyo koreka kabika ka plastic nangwe kitabeki kintu kijya kucongera amani ukuba ugo no mwura nagamba umwana ugo ni nago tumukwase tumwombekereho turwanisa akavera katatwita so mu biceho Kenneth ni nyina gutushobora abantu plastic ni nunji ninga nimbi kugira ngo ko turaheze kushobora eco biri yabika byo wagamba twihemo nka kimwe ninga bibiri tuwereke ko kiri kubasa kunyangaraza kugira ngo hamwe twabani turugaho batwaza kushaba RDC tutereho military yo kuturinda ahubwo kuba twaza kugamba ibintu byo tucamere kuba tukozesa kandi tugamba ibintu byo tucamere kuba tukozesa kandi tukombe kira kitabo cyawe cyo wahandikire uri koreka ngo wealth from plastic waste ahanya no nyewe nate ataho topic yo wagambaho plastics and wealth creation akarunji karyo mu kavera nikabasa kuba kaha kandi twerinde akavera umumiringo ki kugira ngo ninja kombekera haryeco mu kuyamba mu kwera ngo munya Uganda wa standard age nyombekereho nanye ngambeho bice plastics and ecosystem health ngambeho bice byo ndi kumanya byo narebire akabika magara kebintu ari kozesa kavera
webari byona nza kubikaho kandi Dr. Guardian ngira kutugura nintekateka ngo kiganire iki hine byinji ebiturayejemo iki ni UBC West EMPIKAHOONA program ntuhanure izina ryanje ndi Jowash Mahanje ndi mwene kabucika tumusime Kenneth ahimbisebwe no mahangu umukoreba ngo plastic yakoresebwaje kandi wakoresa plastic ki niye shonga bwinshi yatandika ariko toreka kurunji emiringo ya plastics ezituyine mu ihanga ryito enonge neha kandi itashobora kuba ntukoresa neha bwe ntwaza kumuroka kungana busha rero bwanyuma tumuze mu kiganiro cyito utakarugaho tukira hamwe
Rose Charimpa atamba Mrs. Nigoma zina banywani banje baklans banje abazire banje omukyala Lydia Baguma mabaka Rwanda cyana mirakabare abashomesa banje nka Mrs. Christine Byabagambi Mrs. Juliana Rugendo Mr. Bernard Mugisha abanyacyana miramwena nka Abel Garas Mrs. Hope bakunda kabo Provia Agata abanyashema Mazara Mrs. Miriam Bekunda warwa butura mucyara wacha mungwe baramukazi banje na baramubanje mwena nimbakunda munonga kandi mendeza Christmas nunji eyo businje yihorere mwaka musa tukole munonga turwani soboro
akasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA hulira karijito kemanzi omuchisha hataka cheka omukasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA abantu baburengerwiza bamwena boguno mugisha gwanyu UBC West yagabura ekwatanisize na Leo Establishment Uganda Limited yabaretera kasiki omucisha ikacheka nigo mazima
2013 yo kwezi ko kubanza 2024
tanikana na shayi ibiri zakasheshe okurya okunywa ebyemizano nko mupira za sakasi emizano y'abana hamwe n'abeshongozi nyamwingi yona aha mutwaro gumwe bwonka wotaferwa nyabura kwetabo mu mpaka zo kuhangura ebirabo nk'emotoka za pichi amagari amasimu ente embuzi t-shirts enkofira n'ibindi bingi munonga eki nekibonomwe yegayita hari UBC West EMPIKAHOONA akasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA kwena tushemereirwe UBC West yagabura omucisha ikacheka
2013 yo kwezi ko kubanza 2024
wotaferwa nyabura
UBC West erakwisaho program tanuri jihamireho otungo kumanyisibwa ko mutano kandi okwamazina.
Yes, yabare guma radio yihanga UBC West EMPIKAHOONA. Dr. Gad Rusaza ni senior lecturer mbara University of Science and Technology ari mu studio kandi omwami tumusime Kenneth ahimbisibwe guno muhangu na munongo minde bya plastic no kutwakubasa kugikoresa kurunji tukaguma namagara mwenanye nambaze ndeto hokache Dr. Gad Rusaza aribo wawatandika kugamba hwaho haza nebukuru munonga nani nyenda otworeke akakwate akari ahamagara hamwe na plastic says oburunju bwazo na nebi byazo dero turokutwa kubasa guza mu misho
hariho ko tutambwize kintu cyo twagambaho akavera n'amagara go muntu akavera n'ubugingo bwacu kuko Kenneth yavuze ko kuri mu Rwanda rimwe na rimwe the risks, the hazards of plastics as well as the potential for plastics to enhance wealth creation. In my view, these are the critical aspects of this debate this morning. I'd like that we entertain ourselves to the pertinent issues that Mr. Kenneth Tumusime of Pluawaste Uganda Limited has tried to allude to by considering the following questions. Are plastics good? Are plastics used sustainably? This also is a question which can be asked much more critically and provocatively by asking it a bit more differently. Can plastics actually be used sustainably? Nichibasika omuntu nabasa kureba akavera akakozese kurunji kandi kabumese oje. What if there were no plastics? Itwe turi bato hakabari hembehe hakabariho enchare hakabariho ki hakabariho this handicraft hakabariho handwork mu mashomero. What if there are no plastics? How can we promote sustainable use of plastics? This is an issue that touches on the types of plastics that have been alluded to by Pluawaste Uganda Limited, led by Kenneth. Nichibasika kandi nyweni nchireba nichibasika kuko atera akantu kubona ko ruhange yahangire katino mugasho ngo tukozese akavera kurunji twaza hakika kiriya cyo turi kubasa kongera mani kikareta ubugiga eco ningira nitubasa kukikozesa. So in my view, where I stand aho nyemerire ndiyo nentekateka ngo plastics bwo n'ubugiga kandi ubugigo obu ahubwo atari ikintu cyo ruhanga yahangire bantu mwe neji virus biri yaza kutukabya covid niwe mpandikira akatabo surviving COVID-19 in Uganda. Teji yo corona abantu bingi kabafire itwe tukajihona tuta ni cyacu mwe na sirimu niyo sirime kaba nyinji ndio musini ya 5 mu Uganda omu nanga universities n'abacondozi n'abandi barwana na se barwana witu Museveni yataho ubwenge bwe harono ndijo fire bongore yutaya yayishongora ekintu twaci ritura abantu bariho ni batambura kandi na sirimu no bwetakagendaga kunko muri muguroni gukorwa kandi n'abantu bariho ni cya kimwe na corona ikija yije yo kuturitura konka abebembezi bagira ubwenge bagirwanise agenda. How can we ensure ecosystem health? So nitubasa kutura tuta nebintu byo ruhanga yahangire kurunji enyamishwa zo mwishwa enyamishwa zo makagitu wildlife umuntu nebintu byo ruhanga yahangire kandi also by looking at human to human interface. And we call that one health. How can we enhance the concept of one health by ensuring ecosystem health through sustainable mutual coexistence by considering environment, animal health and human health interface. Kandi bibyo ninja kuhereza yo muzizi ngambe ko bintebi biri bikuru kugira ngo umuntu ekibira kimuri hihi kitamuretera injoke kamurya nanga akame karimo ninga kuri ya Kongo batera ikintu batakurya tutari risibwaguza tumanya ko turakome mbuye nushaka vera ubwo twaza kuri ya buri kimwe cyo na kavera tari ibindi byo turi kubasa kupakingamo ekindi abantu kutura hamwe kurunji byo kwatanisa hamwe mu magara gitu eco turiyo cheta one health nangwa hansime professor mukuru ni professor Murungi niwe yabitwegesize professor William Bazeyo kahangare karamare kutwegesa umurimo Murungi niwe ngutambwize nangwa hambara university kwebembera by'amagara umubantu community based education research and service program which I lead, which I've been leading for quite some time. I thank God. So echechi ninja kushobora honti harimo kabi akabi hamagara go muntu pollution myika ari umushanga ryaho ari ngo mu kiyungu ngo ari kora amatafari mu plastic konka nkebuzo go umunsi wo munaje kumara imyaka ingahe abakazi bakarugo mu kiyungu nibenda gasi kandi we yaza kweyitabwaki habwo kora amatafari ga plastic eco naco kiriho. Then hariho biological effects hatarongwa embera zebye nyanja plastic ziriya nizo bari kukozesa okushoha mu Uganda kandi akinji waza gukora research hariho ko nakererwa muri ndi kushoma ibitabo bingi bikwasira byeje topic ya plastic nambwe nabana mukwate guguskora muteme bigambo plastics and health ninga mutemo plastics and ecosystem health o ninga mutemo plastics and environment no mwija kushanga ibintu bingi nangwa Kenneth ni yeje yaba PhD yawe kandi nyoye nayihereza yo kujya njya kusupervisinga ningo ikintu cyawe kitakoma hihi ikintu cyawe kikurakurane twena tushemererwe. Then hari ekizibu cha sediments ahandi kure akashani ni habasa kurugama ebizibu ushanga Victoria ni into mu buringwa ushanga Victoria yafa habwa plastic zirya hansokwe ushange by'inyanja byahwaho ubwo twaburwe cyo kurya manya hate niyo nanga munywe niyo mutuku kwa shako ukurya kubikwa abantu kwece nyanja ni kireta amagezi bari kubasa kukirya kandi enteyo yarya kavera manya ubwo harugira maho enteri kukamwa ubwo harugira maho yarya kavera habwo utamanya kukareberera. Ekindi harimo eco kugira ngo carbon emissions hariho waza higuru nyowe nkabani nyishongora ryo mwandi koreka ngo witu no mwiguru turyazayo ndi ku pointinga higuru konka wabano uryo munyonyi kuri kwika Sahara ti hariho cloud cover habwo kuba environment kagumane hinduka ozone layer hariho atmosphere kugira ngo nk'Afrika ibonire niyo kugira ngo emite cyariho ibintu nibitambura kurunje enjurane yija ko nka plastic waste yaba nyinji na munongo mwika bwa pollution amagara y'abantu nigija kucendera kubaje habwo kuba temperature zensi nizija kuzahigurwa bwa carbon emission nambwe no hakaba ariho carbon trade kushanga wahinga ibihingwa bihunji imiti mirunji kushanga ensiyoni iri kushashure center account habwo kurinda ubuhangwa kurunji bw'abantu kandi harimo ubushegu mu plastics zimwe carcinogens ubushegu ubu biri kureta cancer kandi nkebyo yagamba umukugu Kenneth ahicire ikitabo cy'ija kucongera amani nanga twete munywani wa family munywani honoreba kashomera mu university kashomera mu senior yo muzeyi yabera na shomeramo nanga senior yeje yashomese ba president babiri Yoweri Kaguta Museveni na nanga na Kagame so nitubasa kwandika ikitabo government kitongoze uburyo mwena akigendereho then hari ikizibu cyo kugira ngo ubwikizo kubura namweno ninyenda ngo tugamba ha plastics konka turi kutekateka environment mweno waza nkari hima factory gutwaza umusimenti hashemerewe kucondoza ho niwe ubu twabugana ukaba tukwegesa occupational health ukaba no yegesa occupational health akabika ryo mukorero mu mberambi habwo kuba nkari ahima wazaho noreba ngo hari akabi abantu umuntu urazabo habatabireho muri ngo go kurinda abatuze bari na factory ya hima hariya ni habasa kuzokaho burwire gutakumanya bwenaho n'umurimo gwitu kabebembezi kureba ngo twabaho kurunji umuntu nebibe mwihinguririze kandi umuntu n'umuntu namutahiwe izo nizo topics zo ndi kureba ngo tushemeye kwani tushoborora for the way forward for the future to guide policies processes kandi nabegesa n'abakugungitwe kugira ngo Uganda yiteguma hamuramwa
yebare doctor niza ko yongera
thank you
betwa kuba nubwe wawataho radio ikiganire kikiri aha radio yihanga UBC West EMPIKAHOONA program eji natuhanure turon tugamba aha bintu ya plastic imigasho yabyo na nebuze yakubasa kurugamu kana no kutwakubasa kubereberera omaka gaitu plastics zirumu aha mirumo no birebaho aho rukutora hona no mabasi n'ahandi okwata kacipoka kanaga hero nikimanyisa byinji ahamagara gawe nko kuwahorera Dr. Gad Rusaza okuyashoborora kato banze twahorera yoborango buce tugumize mu kiganiro cyitu batakarwa
Yohane shura yikumine mwe orunyirirwa 24 Yesu yagambira Lazarati ubu yarwo mu kituro umukomorore mu mureke agende aba Redemption Worship Center bakuretera program nyamurungi mu mukomorora agende aha abantu binji bakomorokire mukomorora agende ne kumara hebye byone bikusibire nshegere amakagawe gona gatebenkana beitiwe nenche cyasibira amakagawe no butashwerwa no butashwera no ukore ibintu byona biri kwanga oyine biri kubunda mirekiro hari hemyo yo kwetorwiriyo tari kumanya hari hemyo ya karande iri kubona bonesa kurikiza programme jaha UBC West EMPIKAHOONA buri rwa kabiro mu overnight ubuze bibuzo haza munywano wanje bakugarukemo ubuherezo ubu buri kwebemberwa Bishop Alex Mushabe bakuretera program nyamurungi reka programme eje komorore kandi noje kumanya byakusibire niwe komoroke Bishop Alex Mushabe kahangara
UBC West era kwisaho program tanure jihamireho otungo kumanyisibwa ko mutano kandi okwamazina
program tanure beto n'inkwisia ngwakasikaito amana bahurikiriza n'ibiri 13 byo kubanza 2024 omucayi kaceka mwene mwijo mu bwinji tubategerize okutaha muno mutwaro gonka ordinary kandi mitware ibiri nonda ku abon nabiriraho kacya haruguru kandi nabimitware 5 abona bakwenda kushita mabonka twabahereza entebe mwentu ine VIP imitware 2 ordinary umutwaro rero tables ni mitwaro 50 harimo ebintu byinshi tukuza kwangura umuryo byarimo n'imotoka namwe ryo mu mbuga yitu redia UBC West nabash kono gireba tera maringwa uyjorebe konka okwenda kujangura no shashura mutwaro gume gonka gugura kakonji wagura bwinji n'emigisha yawe yo kwangura ne yongera kandi ino n'impaka zo kuvuga gari mana gachifuba muri kono mangu nabaso kutera rishegera ija ovuge gari rero uri kuwataga ko mukane gari yawe twina hamasimu agempa gatoro twineho ubugofira na nibindi byinji nabwo cyija tunywe tushemererwe ubu twina bishongo zikorwa Kampala abana baraga urengerwa izoba bwihanga mbwente kutegerize omukasi kikaitu ebero 13 byo kubanza 2024 kandi twina kazano kitu aka Christmas bonanza aka nakazana kututandikire konko muringo gwo kukwatiraho iwe ine byo bushubuzi omuringo gwona yabo ine duka yabo ine hoteli one myanya yo kushemererwamo ningano nakutandika ishomero omwako guru kuyija ubwo no mugisha gwawe kuyija tukakorangire ibintu byawe aha kasente ka hacha hachiri yija tubase kukwatanisa niwe rero turange ibintu byawe kandi kirango cyaraba radio yihanga ibintu babyabonera abantu bakiciriza munonga ija uzarusha reception aha obuze rero tubase kwatagana niwe turanje ibintu byawe kandi kuwakuba nonda kuguze ibintu omukasi kikaitu kaceka nabwe ntwenda no basokuba kutekera kaceri ninga kacyayi ninga nonda kukaranga tuntu ninga oyine ebintu byo rukukora abantu babase ko bimanya abantu bakushika mutwaro nibija kwa rwo mucayi kaceka mbwene ntkweta nguje orete byo ine byo rukutunda tukuhereze tent rero base ko mumurikira abarakuja kwa rwo mucayi kaceka bamanya ngoriyo namwe nabwe nshongeji ninkwisanga aba Skylight Brands Wholesale and Retail nabakwisya ngo abantu baguze ibintu mu bwinji omuduka zabo kandi nebintu bashazire ha beyi okwenda ngo kabasa kugura ibintu wakwaza koreso mu biro bya nohiri bakuretera ibintu nyamwinji kandi ha sente ncenceho muko muceri za shukari engano cooking oil jono buto drinking chocolate amashita go kwesiga hamwe nebindi byinji nabakomanyisa ngo wagura omubwinji nabakuhereza n'entambura ningashi babakushombera babakutwarira haduka yawe ninga babakutwarira muka Skylight Brands Wholesale and Retailers nabashangwa aha Nimbaguta Street omtown mararaha Central Market eduka namba ya mwenda okwenda kumanya bikuciraho waza kubaterera simu ubagure ibintu mu bwinje bitwara mu maduka gaho mbyaro uruko orebe kuwa kubasa kuri Olympia not mushanje not 3 emwe not mukaga ina na not mushanje ina emwe not mushanje ina emwe 95 nkaga not 2 watere simezo nosha kwa wagama na ba Skylight Brands Wholesale and Retail bakutegerize bari omtown mararaha Dr. Gadi Rusanza ari mu studio ubwo nsene ya lecturer mbara University of Science and Technology kandi no mwami tumusime Kenneth ahimbisebwe ubwo no muhangu okoreba ngo za plastic twazikoresa kurunji kandi twagaraka twatayisa umugenyi weitu utiriye na waha kahakira kandi kashanjirwe nwaga wa Moses entwiga ariya no munyabarajiro kamaze yakora musya gihe tugumize muri kiganiro cyito twakwakira sibo
natangira na mnywani wanje kandi OB Kenneth nkashoma na Mumba High School ano wikiti nsasibo nakwakira mwe bari kuturukiriza abakunda UBC West EMPIKAHOONA bari muhangi mu nsasiro bukirerezi endware igendemireho unga ninja kukira
humura
ninja kukira
yabare ntwiga mwe nanye nanga ariko kace wa Dr. Gad arebi abana marira akorese gacika nk'ibiri rero wanyuma Kenneth kuba kugira cyo wayongeraho na munonga Kenneth twahereze kureba ngo ibintu y'abantu mebibi nkoku Dr. Gadi yabyoreka umuringo gundi tora turebe better plastic waste management practices mweshika twamanyire ngo basekurite kizebecyo twakubereberera tuta bwanyuma ya Gadi kutereza y'inshonga nkibere n'ingishatu Dr. Gumizama
ekigamba kimwe munyabwenge ni kimara and now I would like to welcome Iran different ababa ni bashome bitabo binje babishoma wari ba judgment ne biri sentence emwe kongane banze bashome bitabo babishoma babihindura and we also philosophers at our level we are similar. Let us try to synthesize what we are up to. The critical question is can plastics be used sustainably? Can the molecules that are used to manufacture plastic substances, can they be put to use, to sustainable use and development, especially in the context of developing countries such as Uganda? My answer is yes. Plastics are worth if used cautiously. Ninyenda ngo mu kuhabura twebande munonga kintu cyo kugira ngo ubugiga bw'ituntu bwije kutweyitira ahubwo kuburwa umuramwa rero nkoko tuhugukire tuzakintu cyo kugira ngo kuri turi kubasa kukozesa kavera kurunji tugendera habiragiro tituka shemererwa kandi ihanga ry'iturika zo mu misho ecyakabiri cyo nashoboreraho no kugira ngo the one health approach. What if the environment, animal health and human health interface is well managed? Then we will have a sustainable use of resources for better human health outcomes and what the Americans call a sustainable earth. Kugira ngo tuture kurunjo mu nsomo n'ikirunje kugira ngo kiriya kibira kikwehinguririze kitarugame nanka ensiri sikakuretera uburwire bwo mushija n'ezindi zitarugamo enjoka y'empiri ekakuruma kuko corona yatsahirize bwanyuma kandi nenya mwishezi ziri kuturetere sente nkagorira aha nyine y'ekitabo kanija nyegwire nyine y'ekitabo nawe musime Dr. Grades Karimazi kusoka working with the gorillas for 20 years emanzi we mu bintu byona byarebera ngo nibasa kumuhereza izina rirunji akareba gorira kandi gorira buriya yatandikire eyine enamba bina hati nerenga rukumi na bibiri kuri ya bwindi. So what if we looked at this differently? We then will avoid the health challenges that accrue. Naho eherezo byo kureberaho birimo okushangana twisomya myika mibi tukarwara nkaza asima zo Kenneth yagambaho hati hariho nkebyo turi kurya biri kurwo mu nyanja in the rivers, in the lakes, mu nyanja mu megera nke ekinyanja umwana yakirya ubwenge ni baburi bwinji akavere ente yakarya ubwo warugira maho nebindi kandi harimo ekizibu cha cancer carcinogens ikintu cyo ndebire ngo nico kiri kutinisa munonga. Then carbon emissions ezi hari abagira mu carbon trade kuchikora makarunji kugira ngo temperature zensi zinoni ziyongera degrees nangwa Kenneth tukaba tushemere kutaye kiganiro on when the world recent was meeting about international climate change. So echa Kenneth kutureta aha kugira ngo twombeke ihanga kurunji habwo kwerinda ebizu biri kurwa mu plastics ahobwe tukabikoramo ibyo bugiga n'ikintu kikire kandi nanye namwegitaho kujya kumuherezo muzizi kuko ntwire ninjira so ubona kuko burabi buhikire ko burahike ahubwo kuba umuntu yigire kuherezo muzizi takuguma kintu kimwe konganye wo muzizi go nija kuhereza ninshaba takahendire igifezi yo ndimo kugira ngo Kenneth nituje kugaruka tumuhereza ho time ndijo umushomo gwe agongeremo agoro bya present nka pepa nanyo bundi nimbasa kwija kugaruka ya ryo zoba ngamba kinte eki cha One Health, the plastics and ecosystem health, ninga ngamba climate change and One Health. Eki Professor William Wazeyo munywani witi atwegesize kandi ki yatwasize Uganda yinabashije manzi tutafa nk'abashema nahabwe eco nakusima mukama witu Empikahona ko turarugaha by the way nituje kuba twakoze ritimu mpango abahurikiza twabasima nitubegitaho mwe bari kutukunda mwe bari kukunda UBC West mwe bari kwagira topic age mwe bari kwijo mu bwinji mwe bari Kenneth imikuti wataho kwisi abantu butumwa b'Burunji nanye Dr. Gadruzaza awa community program ya Mbara University tinka hwiramani ndiyo ni yongeramani kureba ngo university zituzagirira umugasha abantu kandi nentunguka ya Uganda na East Africa yagumizamo mwebare n'abasimu
yebare program natuhanure Dr. Gadruzaza ebindi yabishoboraje kandi ubwo twatandika nanye nangu Kenneth atakizire ndeka maze nkireze ntwiga abantu bahurira karye Kenneth abanze ayongere kunywa twizi entwiga icyo kubanza Kenneth yatandika hati nanguna nensi yona ikatahwiteka iryo kurinda bahangwa kandi umuryebyo no kurango wareberera gikasasuro ningashe bintu bya plastic ebi tuwafaga tambikireryo konka kanusha ngikibirenge cyeshinguro cyenyaruju enyaruju no gishanga hagataheraha inzura kere kugwa iyezinga itikabusheshe nyombeke mbona hacishwa kashana eyananura kanusha ngibintu byabonera reka mbe ndinzireho ninza kubona inyombe ko bundi na hate nyaruju tekombe kaga itura katine yezinga inzura kere kugwa yezinga akashana kachija eyananura ikizubu niki tandikiraho
ikizubu tarumaguba
wanje
tarumaguba
no manyisaje
amaguba gakuzumushaho y'umuntu wa enforcement mu Uganda taciriho ibintu byo kutambura bitarumagobaga uriya urukora umurimo ubwo bagira ngo agenda arebe nkasasuro ter kujanjara umutawuni takufuna magobage nk'umuntu ya takufuna magobage nk'umuntu takushikirize kibamugambira
run different clarify benefit financial gain or amagoba run different because noreba nankaro ninka philosophy amagoba wamanyisa chi really
private benefit to the enforcement officers. In the absence of private benefit to enforcement officers, it's very hard for you to oversee implementation of this policy. Abwachi aboko mu Uganda atenkora negera ngo n'ubyakwa kiri cya government iwe inyorora mwe cyawe
wanje
n'ubyara kiri cya government iwe nyorora mwe cyawe icya government cyahinde kisigare kiri cishokonkoro konka kasiti wanyorora mwe cyawe
kashito kumbagana naco
kandi twoko ngozo kuriro mu office na nukurya office batandika bakuriro mu office bakeza barya office konke nkore wene jango ikintu chona cya kitakutayiza ngo iwe ngo muntu nukireba utakikora namwe nkata batekaho fines bakajya ngo buriyo mwo barashange hihi nakacupa ka mineral water akemerira arabaju ngo ashashure shiringi 10 nukireba ti wakataho konka bashango kemerira arabaju cyo myself you are also abstaining from cleaning the environment amwe cyo emerira arabaju wakacupa kana kacupa kano manyaka shebe kwa kari amwe cyo ukarya arabaju wakacupa bata wejo fine ya shiringi 10 abe enforcement masibo mtawo nomu izo barya kurenga bitoko tare shamukaga na hatana mukacupa naka abo kwambamba manyango barakakwata arabaju baza kumuyo sente deni bafune hezabo amagoba wachetegereza so hatana private benefit ebintu byono mu Uganda bitarmu okufuna muko muntu buntu no bucekiriye cyabinji konkana wafune muko muntu tibikatambura uzagamba tibikatambura bazagamba kavera kagumeho bagamba ubucupa bw'amizi bugumeho abashaba reka Dr. abanze
a point of departure ati kandi ubu twabyazamo ibya provocation about the way forward kugira ngo kibe kiganiro ukwanura haterikawe ariko twacikora. I was recently passing along the route to Fort Portal, specifically at Kazinga Channel, where the district called Kasese begins. Hariya hari Kazinga Channel, abantu bakekora mu murimo ngashanga really instead agamacupa go guyagamba bari ni bagokoramo decoration nungi hariya hari katunguru. Tinkumanya haba hariho sara ya 10 buri kacupa kabuko ne amazing gura 10 kandi hati sarare ebe 10 kandi ikindi nyoye nkasimire kugira ngo umukugogu washomera by'amateka justice first kurebera amagaraga buryo mwena kugira ngo abeje fairness holistic health ni twembi ogunachimanya mu umuro nyowe ninchimanya mu philosophy no mu health the concept of the common good amaguba nigabasa no basa kugamota personal gain without common good hati nyowe mu kushobora kwanje ko byamagara na indi kushobora based on the concept of common good hari aho uri kugira ngo oya nayo mbeka egorofa afrashinga miza atakumanya ho garaze konga eshohera ya frashinga sewage eshohera netewe kureta korera emushango munju ya gorofa. That is where we have the concept of common good. Tokagamba amagoba gatari mu common good aho no nashobererwa
shobore roya hato iwono manye motoka yakuteransi heza kuteransi ukashangutine wareto munsha kandi ohende kiro guru konkana wareto nayo to kijine rwo kwetegeza ngo abanya Uganda tayurubi nyibindi ganyoro manya nyuti nkosa mageza gebitabo Dr. Warium gebitabo nyuni nkozesa aganjaga practical agamunsi ndi reality ebintu nko kunkubereba hariho kunkubimanya konka nko kunkugeranta okunkubereba nimanya ngo muntu atwaje omunyishambe motoka kahinjika hari twakine witness wa accident abwaki abuga bakubanzaho babanza bakora umusha ebashanga mbabitwara so twako wasagama unite twatangaho abo mama bakubabuza kuwaretira nesumbiyaza nkai so eriyo nigo baryo muntu mu accident ikisarane ndeta mugisha now hati enforcement officers nabone bakora nkabari wacenga ahako banamanya ngutakuza kufuna kasente tayini mwigo barye nko muntu to kumutayo omuntu mu guyanaza kora mu kiro kimwe nagukora umwaka gubona takuzayo Dr. Bajya unakora ki Doctor, what do you do?
You want me to give
you are office?
No, yenango amazina ganje.
What you
do? You go move slowly. I'm like Okonko, who was known in the 9 villages
and even beyond.
Yes. Kwata phone yawe otema mazina Dr. Gadruza zandaruhutse. Ibyo urashangemo nigingana no wundi. Ngija ohambarara kabiri 3 street town. Ubwo bwire meya Kacebezi akaba nakorana TV West kasasire kabita kabiri nyinji nangwa kasasire je biri nyinji hati habwa site kubayo so mbara university kuri kuba no basa kwijukiriza ninga kushomo history ko yatandikira a university without wars so mbara university nyowe ubwo rekanye gambeho ni nyebembera kugira ngo university egira umurimo go yakora umucaro tukatandika turi kuzo mu sites 3 Kinoni Rwampara Bwizi Bwera hariya niyo hati district headquarters Rubirizi district Bunyaruguru hati we have twin sites 55 mu southwestern Uganda.
Numukora ki?
Nitwegese bande ntunguka. Promotion of health and welfare.
Echo kineka kwate kine kitugamba ko kimushobora cyeregereze. Namunonga
hati ubwo bwire abana bambara university bashomera ubushaho umucaro kubona uzamo na washoma history ushanga abashaho mucaro hatino rimo. Right now, as a result of our intervention, health workers are there at the health sub-district level. Health workers are doing community visits, what we call in the Chubani revolutionary education approach, solidarity education, solidarity health, solidarity medicine.
Echiranye nakwetegereza kutwabona kushikita necha common good. Omukushomesa abo bashaho na no kubatwarumbiya ronko kuwagamba. Hino kuchongire ahambera yensi na no kurwanya mucupa na kasasiro.
Oriya na yaba roya kagira district hati. Omushawuri yawashomera makerera kare ukabata kamureta district ngabase kuzaho. So nyowe ndiyo ninyoreka ngo we can have mindset change. And a good example is Mbara University of Science and Technology. And I'm not going far to promote my voice further. Mondebereho ninga murebe mu Google searching Mbara University murebe community programming yabitakoziri. So icyo ndi gukora tikiri bweshireki.
Okay. So now I was not challenging you.
I wanted you asked to know who are you.
I wanted to know your job.
You said who are you, so I also gave you my number and I gave you the address.
Yes.
Google.
First of all, ejeji university yo myaka 30. Mbara University of Science and Technology.
30 ngaho. We are approaching 40.
Gomeza mwena atu wayemera hii na university. Niche chukureka ngwa science University of Science and Technology. Hii wayemera nka heru ya university.
No manyisachi.
O environment yayo.
Niche
chokureberaho. Okatana na harwe. Okahatani sana nari nakuri. Okahatani sana na sanga.
The 1,000 kilometer walk begins with the first step.
The first step can't end.
I want to mention
30 years of first step.
No, I want to.
Can I submit? Doctor, allow me submit.
What has Mbara University done? When I was going to UK in 1997, life expectancy of Uganda on average was 37 years. Today it is 63.
I've asked in the environment because when they...
I am starting with the Ugandan environment. Yes, I am starting.
So,
I think you have to listen to each other.
The people on Zoom have tuned in to learn about plastic waste management. I really want to guide because this is hosted by Pluawaste Consult. I think let's speak to the people what is going to help them improve on plastic waste management.
Because doctor is a bad listener. Speak to doctor is a bad listener.
I also I've been a guest lecturer.
I want to first submit.
I've been a guest lecturer at Mbara University of Science.
If you have come to attack me, it is a different thing.
Doctor,
He's called Dr. Gadru Zaza. He has a PhD. He's a health educator and he is my mentor. So he's in community health. He's under Faculty of Medicine. What they are doing, community outreach, the students that are sent out there, medical students, some of them have taught MPH students. As a guest lecturer, I've given them information to disseminate through their department. They take the information to the general public, alerting them on the danger that are associated with the misuse of plastics. Not only here, even Faculty of Health Sciences in Nkozi. So his role as my mentor, I've observed and have noticed what they are doing with the other colleagues in the department. They have been doing a commendable job. So he has medical background, clinical medicine, and actually one of the other things I would expect Dr. tell us, the respiratory illnesses are the most expensive diseases. People need to know what is the cost impact of treating those diseases. What can we do to stop the habit of burning so that we protect people's health? So this is to just briefly introduce him for the purposes of the discussion, which is on plastic waste management, because they handle health matters in their department.
Nintakateka ngo ntwigaho wazara shobora
kare mariyo shonga yawe
nataka
It is the impatience of the doctor
I am not
who
impatient.
kept
I'm now
is an
willing.
intervening factor.
I'm willing
So
to listen.
I want doctor to listen very well. He will have his time submit. Nuja kugira ubwire bwawe mukamange no submittinga is reviews zanje. Abwakitu in University of Science and Technology. Omutawuni yambarara abakutura ma University of Science and Technology eriyo muri mbarasite. Kunkana basimurwa batarashomereki. Sciences ugumanka shoma no mu high school. Ruba kubasimura mumbarire yijwire kasasara. Ask yourself that fundamental question. I went to in a University of Science and Technology wonkasite eyijwire kasasaro which can be recycled. Abwengi agwa kwatari magoba gabo muntu budu. You see a big gap. Yes, let me connect my dots. And me, I release my words pointing. Nimbani ngambire kintu giwe kireba. No kireba. Twine University of Science and Technology. Ya semyaka shatnena umurambara. No kireba. Waste management banjuru recycling because science and technology ni yeri muku recycling waste. Tukosebo. Mwene mbara university initiative yayo yo ku recycling waste kasasiro eriyo muri Mbarara town eri nkahi we is their site ekizubukirahe tubine mwigoba nkabantu bamanya ngo mwigoba private benefit to the individual nubagera kasasiro nogero ndo muri Mbarara neburamu in fact no batanga no kugigura handi konka buya ntari igoba ryo muntu buntu nbaza kuzo mu studio bagabo jungu kutwarese bataye bacetegereza kasasere gumo muri Mbarara urujungu ruguma muri Mbarara University agwa kwatatu ine University ya Science and Technology eriya kasasere yijwira hariya yifa ya taso wacetegereza ecyumayisa ngo the university has let us down cyumayisa ngo university turebye agwa ko beri ni ryiteka tekero niryicyondorezo notseme kwento manyera kabika kasasiro na neki turagikorere koka yiro ko babuze kasasiro mu ndine mkiye unangwa cyako briquettes nizo futeka namakara bakwiho mu kasasiro nokireo utanangwa ka briquettes zanyu zumukozire zirinka yikwe kuyamba kucyendeza wapi ruzurunazo waza kwezi zatambara University of Science and Technology bateke senku bateke senku so at why come university ukashaka bateke senku they are also depleting the environment na wale bashishe environment kasasere ijiro mtaudi
program notharure
batasira ngurwonka
entwiganja kujenjera nanyende tekenesi noreba enshonga ya entwiga ya leta neshonga erikuremera kandi yinkutegateka nka Pluawaste Concert Limited ikabe neshoborora hata unanye nangu iwe nkomuntu no mucondoza tworeke emiringo mirunje eitwa kubasa koresa okorewa nkasasire gini gasho bucipobu bwargamu ekishire.
Before I talk about better plastic waste management, we've diversed a lot, and I think the purpose for this meeting has to fulfill what it was intended to do. I will first defend Mbarara University of Science and Technology on one side or the other. By the way, on top of that, as a university, they have a department that handles petroleum sciences that directly address the plastics issue. Way back in Parliament, there was an MP scientist pairing scheme on plastic waste disposal. I was a consultant on that program in handling plastics. The pairing scientist was from Mbarara University of Biology Department. Maybe there was a laxity that they were in that, and it was MP scientist pairing scheme on plastics waste disposal. The aim was to create awareness at constituency level through Parliament of Uganda so that we can cause an impact on the ground. I think as a university there has been a laxity apart from participating going forward to address the plastics as people who submitted as scientists. So on the other side, I can't completely differ from what he's saying, but we are saying which way forward we use. As we speak, the Uganda Vice Chancellor's Forum is connected on the network. So different universities are listening. You're talking of Mbarara University, but Makerere University has a Waste Management Center of Excellence for East Africa. But when you reach Makerere University, there is no big difference with the mini dumping sites that we have in Uganda. This is the greatest. So let's not so much go with that.
Echira masa kana si saka jira shongeja kwa ni nkuru munonga nka Pluawaste Concert Limited tumisha koro muno mogo mwenka mwa mutine matende cheraga echirunzi wagira ngo baturikirize hati nchiyamba chi kugira ngo ntuteka ngo hakorwe iki konke ntuganisho ngayi muse kunyo emyaka 30 yakorese cyo kureba cyo university no mungo koraha hati Kenneth nakurwana atoro taroru abantu bakwene mamuhereze mukono bo ngatukure ubundi barya nyuma kakana bari kuteke senku. Yes, the doctor can come with it.
I think Entwiga, it is my considered opinion that like I have presented my names as well as being Entwiga, that you have other names. Yes, of course. So it's also my considered opinion that you are coming in from that vibe of let's discuss this from a point of view of development debate. Yes. But I also didn't come here a disclaimer as a spokesperson of Mbarara University. But I came here because of the passion and invitation by my colleague to alleviate the notorious problem of plastics, whether they stand in to address the issue of wealth creation and how we can promote ecosystem health through the One Health approach, and you found me having submitted a few things. Now about how Mbarara University continues to be different and a beacon of hope. This is very much elucidated in literature. Echo kugira ngo nangwa Mbarara University nka university nk'ezindi echo tukacebwa kare. Akuba Mbarara University ni university yo kubanza omu region age yona mo university yitwazire ngo ni universities without walls. Emirimo yitu itwe nituza umumaka ga burijo tugamba n'abantu tubayisya ikigambo tubegesa amagara gabo tubegesa kurinda kavera kandi Mbarara University umurimo gwabo it is not a parallel arrangement with the city authorities or urban authorities. Doctor,
sasa rokache tuturia kuganira ni Mbarara University, it's not a point of discussion.
Nicho na abanza nacho. I have to start with that disclaimer.
Nchana nyina mwanza kunasho rokache yakireta nkecho kurebera no yakoresa university ryo mu ngokora konka echirungi na Kenneth yachoborora muna university zindi zona nizikwatwa we can generalize tingwa na tugate
so now
universities kozere churu kumara okuyamba Kenneth.
I want to expand further. I want first expand further this debate. The subject matter that you are discussing is under the topic of higher education management, which we term higher education and development. Wherever there is a university, there can be and there is a difference. For example, na inaza kutana kubagambira ebihindukireho bice. Universities nizibasa kandi tubasa kukoreki twina amagezi mingi amagezi gamweho nigaguma mu library ico no mazima konka amagezi go twineho twagakozesa tukakwatanisa na government na civil society n'abantu baburijo especially in the line of decentralization kukora na za district tukakwatanisa kuko Mbarara University egizire theme zitu tukaguma ni twongeraho kimwa kindi. For example, tukozereke health systems improvement aho twakoze muri mu muhango. Eki cha kasasiro ni problem mu Uganda, ni problem mpango yo mu town umucyaro tekabiri nyingi munonga. Shana echo kugira ngo the invitation for us to do a bit more in the field of these fields that are being identified. Utakizire na I pointed at Kenneth as a prospective student, lifelong learner in the thematic area that he has explored. And succeed we must, for God and my country, the work has just begun. I repeat what I have just said, that the 1,000 kilometer walk starts with the first
kare
step.
nani ngishaba ngo Maria Nshonga yo gwanyuma Kenneth abugarike mu murundo gumwe ekiro kuteganisa n'icyo twiga okwenda ngo tukendere rero gwanyuma Kenneth
ekiro kunteganisa
zo mukahumuro
is too much English too little work nyincho cyukuteganisa urujungu rwinje no kora kuke no kireba abwo kuba nyowe ni nyinko examples ziri hi makere ninje manya makere university ya maheri kandi kushomera nkashomerayo nane Mbara university yo tinka shomera muga konka yo ni manya heri akwanta kamanyire makere kabanza na manya kai Mbara university kandi nchwangwe gitopic tera har Mbara university yonka konka chine chikunyamba kuja kashita mu studio kagamba bya America kabyetorora rashankaretwa Ukraine ngaretwa Kenya Tanzania kahika Mbara ngata hata abantu limbana abayambaki ninyende bintebere practical no kireba hatogu tarashomere sciences is a scientist by practice practitioner Kenneth kogani nde contribution ye nekire yaba professor bambara university ombe kwatere na West management hati nyungu geranta ba professor bambara university they have let us down baturebes orwizo ryaye ifo rwijwire kasasiro enyuma ya university no rwijwire kasasiro the river is polluted haruba kureta mahe UPDF eje yambe manyabaze kuyambuza kasasiro manyabaze koraki amahe garigama kenke gije gakore byaba professor bakozire ukuboneza urwizi ukwegesa abantu ko baratwariza mizi gakareka kusisikara kandi wena ntu depending aho gamiza gutukoso mu garga rwizariya kikabiye cyo mu gwa university nshime kwene tugambire ibintu kebyo kandi eze practical kegesa omtawuni hijwire kasasiro kuriya kenkombe ine kasasiro hatene mountain inde kasasiro ne marira no kora makara do teka koka University of Science and Technology ne teke senku hatejo niyo konsani yanje tine kikunyamba kuzaka gambe bya heru kandi university itwinde eri kujya ngo negesa science and technology yasiye imyaka 3 nena eri kuteke senku no kireba kandi University of Science and Technology kandi the sources of fuel plastics ombaraste zijwire koka toka bashanga bine that initiative tubine na site tinkwame ngo bine na site ya research yabo yo kugira ngo bene hataka tukebero these plastics what can they be used for kutukubabuza bya plastics batugambira community education ebyo nemirimo yaba nibabeta bahe bari abagombora
community development officers
ba CDOs community health workers ejo tumirimo yaba professor okweni ko kushanga nanka bishop yo mbyaro na igeso gabomba omba kuristayo nemirimo ya research okutereza banzorindeho nemirimo ya research so nyoni nyende binte mwanyetera program yo gambo rujungenda mungambire twigengende kare koga mwanyetera program yo kwegesa abantu no kereba nando kuboreka ngu eje kasasere ryo mu town no kireba ne basako ba utilized kandi lead agency yo kutuyamba okukwata kasasere ryo ekagira hindura mu kintu cyo mugasho ekarga kuba kasasiro ekabe kintu cyo mugasho umwomwerumu turukwetenga president Museveni turukwetenga minister of what nitwetenga abakugu kandi abakugu tugizireki tubine dere tugende ku managinga west koka rwa ryo gambo rujungu mazamara heza tindagarake kubategana samzinda rugwa
tuwaheza kwa ndizo twakweta kandi tuneshonga mwenje wisha
y'abantu are concerned when gamba practical things which should be done
you can't wiga ecyakubere kikoze runiki oyironke buwagambiye akubasa kongerwa horiki akuba emotoka biriho nturane bishomba ecyakabiri nango na parliament ekatahone biragiro ebikugenderwaho iwe nko muntu tokabasa kwatogo washangana na gasasiro baza tushomesa ari yecu iwe kentwigo kwasare bangaye
ecuragiro
abwe kino ceretera university
ecuragiro cikwikirizanye wentwiga kuba enforcement wa nema nana ba urban authorities cikunkiza ujyana inkwata abantu ndabakwate batoze no kireba there are only a few circumstances aho private person yakwikizwa kwato ndijo no kireba munka wamushangariyo na akwisenka kana ryo kahota harora ikiruhudi yo kaita ngo numkwata no mu reporting ga police eri hihi konko go wanaga hariya akacupa nakwata nakutona uza kumutoza nkaye ibiragiro kabigumiraho nico government eri kuteraho enforcement agencies konka na unyangu paralysis yo mu government hati paralysis yo mu government hati nejyangu ahataru higo baryo umuntu yana arangwa atakufunamu nubwo akwagura yo muntu ngo gwashima kuba gukozire takugukora ahubwo kuba wenka ko umuntu takuza kufunamu so nchongwerera habe amendment yekerejuru bajya mu ko barakushangana bajurwa kacupa ka mineral water nucereba shashuri shingiru ko ubwo baza kuburondo bucupa nubugereke nubura ko barakushangana bajurwa kavera ukarebere wagoma nukareba wakasagaho shashuri cha 5 abo kwa tuwaka yaho kandi uryo munya Uganda you have a duty to clean the environment icyo cyarajyo cyazaho obuvera n'uburona n'ubura ahubwo kwa enforcement n'abantu bareba bamaguba akwana mangu yaza kwata abantu bo abatakutegura vera no bucupa naza kufuna mwaka sente ke komuntu hate nkora ni yejo ucereba so in the absence of overall pastine cyaragiro ecyo rukushinja umuntu wabutosha kikamugemeseza kuyo kasaso yatana akwekera y'ikitwine jango utanagaho kasasiro icyo cyo cyaragiye kitwine konka ko kugenaga umutana navugemo toka kacupa karabyankahi nwaguza kumukura takatakare kacupa nakaho kahandikireho so tugire ngo ecyaragiye kigengu ko barakushange hi nakacupa nakaveri otokiyo abuka dasbins bazero ngwe niba ni wakashashura nuza kuburonda nubura
yabare mu ngetwiga
kandi za universities chondoze kandi zikore zereke gambo rujungu rero okwezi kona turya rujungu ebyo gukora biruho konka bitakuzirwe ukashanga university ya science and technology konka na hato mwaka gwe 2023 neteke senku hatenjo ni technology ki
yabare nwagaba
Moses gambe nguyaji yahindura topic
entwiga ya kashari topic tuwajindura akwa turuntu gamba waste management plastic waste management okutwa kubasa kurebera ebintu bya plastic tukiyame birungi kandi nebe kutwa kubasa kubicinjira entwiga ya kashari yajwekeriwe otija mu studio kandi ntekateka ngo yagamba byinji mu studio twiremo omwami Tomusime Kenneth ahimbisibwe ogururigiro team leader Pluawaste Consult Limited Rwanda hamwe na Uganda kandi urban planner kandi twagaruka twagira umugisha Dr. Gad nawe ari mu studio okorga mu University of Science and Technology turuntu gamba okutwa kubasa okutebekanisa ebintu ebikorwa mu plastic twaza kumuroka kire twargayo Kenneth akwata kazindaro agire byagaruka mu namunonge byagamo twiga konkana munonga atshoborore ebi kasasuro ngashi plastics tukabasa kuzirebera tuta kandi ikintu eco kikozurwe katukumizemo utakarwa
ahabwa programu zinungi ziri kushemeza ziri kwegesa kandi z'amazima kurikiriza UBC West EMPIKAHOONA
Eji ni UBC West EMPIKAHOONA.
This is the sound of the nation.
UBC West.
Quality in educative programs, music and entertainment.
UBC West EMPIKAHOONA. Every Ugandan deserves better information. UBC West has reliable and accurate news you can trust. Programs in Runyakitara and Urufumbira. UBC West boasts of modern technology that enables it to reach most parts of Uganda and beyond borders, gifted by skilled personnel that give you better services in the media industry. You can get us on the following frequencies countrywide: 97.7 FM Kisoro, 93.7 FM Kabale, 99.1 FM Hotma, and also 105.7 FM Kampala, 97.4 FM Berala, 98.8 FM Port Portal, 105 FM Masindi, and 999 medium wave. UBC West is incomparable to any other. Tune in once, tune in always. You will feel the difference. UBC West EMPIKAHOONA.
ndi Agre Barusya station manager wa UBC West EMPIKAHOONA turyaha ha Garut Road Boma ndenda kukurisya ba staff ba UBC West EMPIKAHOONA habwo kwika hargeri izoba narishi abo kwika mu rwo bubwire bwo kumaririza umwaka no kwika mu Christmas narishi nohire ye2023 ndenda kubebaza munonga abo kugira ngo mwakozere namani kureba ngo radio yitu yaguma eyemerireho ndenda kwendeza abantu mwena ihimuri ababasize kuhurikiriza UBC West EMPIKAHOONA ntabasize kugamba izina harindi ba chairpersons babahurikiza mwena ihimuri kandi mu muringo go mutano management ya UBC yona eyebembirwe MD witu omwami Winston David Agaba na supervisor wanje Doreen Ndezi mwe bari munonga kurangu mwarebire radio yitu yagumira agenda mu misho kandi eyinamani turaguma twebembire abandi barakuratira mu muringo ogundi ndenda kusima munonga abantu bona clients ababasize kuranganitwe abaresire birango abakozere nitwe programs abizire kapanalists narishi abagenyi bitu baburijo abo mu program ya tuhanure karishorisho akatakweba nahandi hona mwebare munonga mwayemerizeho UBC West EMPIKAHOONA kandi turabasima tutine bugarukiro ndenda nsime munonga kanyendeze mawe cinzara no irinunji no mwaka musya okwe muri chikole kabare Joventa Barusya yebare kunzara kandi ndakwendeza ubuhanguzi yabo rataha mu mwaka musya gwe2024 ndenda kushwanyije abahurikiriza mwena ngu UBC West etebekaniseyo ekintu cyo kubasa kuguma kiraturundarunda kandi abahurikiza nibo bakebembire bijana mani minji ba leta akasiki kabahurikiriza ba UBC West EMPIKAHOONA akasiki kabahurikiriza karija kubaho 2013 byo kwezi ko kubanza 2024 rero tubase kwakira buri gomwe ataheje mu mwaka kandi turija kwa twinebera nyamwinji harimo amamotoka harimo pichipichi harimo amasimu harimo za screen za TV za radio nebindi binji munonga mwene chamani iwogume ha UBC West EMPIKAHOONA rero uronde yo mutwaro gwa wogu kumwe gonka oyije oze mukasiki kabahurikiriza ba UBC West EMPIKAHOONA 2013 byo kwezi ko kubanza 2024 mukama abebembere kandi abaherezo mugisha yabaturataha mu mwaka musya
akasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA Hulira karijito kemanzi omuchishaha chakacheka omukasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA abantu baburengerwiza bamwena okuno mugisha gwanyu UBC West yagabura ekwatanisize na Leo Establishment Uganda Limited yabaletera kasiki omuchishahi kacheka nigo mazima
2013 yo kwezi ko kubanza 2024
tanikana na shayi ibiri za kasheshe okurya okunywa ebyemizano nko mupira za sakasi emizano y'abana hamwe n'abeshongozi nyamwinji yona aha mutwaro gumwe bwonka wotaferwa nyabura kwetabo mu mpaka zo kuhangura ebirabo nkemotoka za pichi amagari amasimu ente embuzi t-shirts enkofira n'ebindi bingi munonga eki nekibonomwe yagaita hari UBC West EMPIKAHOONA akasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA kwena tushemereirwe UBC West yagabura omuchishahi kacheka
2013 yo kwezi ko kubanza 2024
wotaferwa nyabura
Program Tuhanure. Hurikiriza program Tuhanure aho turakuretera abagenyi batari bamwe na bamwe barakushobora inshonge zirime by'amagara ebyo bwebembezi ebyo bwegese ebyo bushubuzi n'ebindi binji.
Specifications contracts za government nicho kurebera mu Tanzania orugudo magufura kajati tihino rugudo rurakogwe rukurenga 5 years kora bataka basa kora contract y'urugudo rukurenga 5 years ekimanyiso go rugudo ruza kuba inefficient
Human Rights Committee bakemerera bagambira government kuyabireta shikire okutera abantu abo no kubatera tear gas.
Abakazi ne batyobwora omu Uganda waza kutunga statistics omu mabanks. Abakazi abakuzo bakatunga akasente bakakehorayo ne bache munonga ahabo kuba tibine korato. Now ejo domestic relations mwagisiga ekyaryaho ekyajumire parliament ya mwenda ekaremu eyikumi yaremu nangwe eyikumi nemwe toragitungira mu mushango wabo kuba no parliament ekyana kugambe gwaboza specificity y'amateka gebaguze agebakoze.
Omukazi oryo mwana w'umushiki so yafatu abasa kufunga mugabo aha kimanja cyasho tubyacho nebindi naro cyo omukazi omushija kafa abanyabuzare bakakubinga ngo ugende bakekorera ibintu byona echo kibere kigetu ikintu kikuru munonga echabe kiryo mu ejobire ya marriage and divorce bill eventually karo yawaza kureba ebisigiro mu marriage and divorce bill niwe noja kureba musanga the issues are already catered for.
RDC district umurimo gw'umukuru tukicirira president konga umurimo gw'umukuru no kushuganisa kureba ngu emirimo eya government ye kubane yakora mu district ne yakorwa no manyango ne cyakabi RDC nibamuheta ngo ajya commissioning project na wahinyirire mpare ninge biteteye zayo ahika commissioning project atera hefuka okizayo ku monitoring wa mbuzo tu project yo commissioning ne ya sente zingahe ezo nabana azimanye sente ogira oti mwesh plan ya yera ati bakajinyorekire kasho commissioning iki commissioning kiwe kasho koraze kurambara baze ngubura kombe kishomero rya UP ininga rya US ininga seed school ninge choroni ne cyafuti zingahe esente wazimanye yi kunkane cyafuti zingahe choroni chibakuza kutimba oshange nibyo biryoko
reka kuzihayo kandi wazi kushaba mugambi omba polisi ati nayo ntumanya ngo polisi nayo ntumanya ngo yokora konka tugezeho okureba ngo nabo twabagamba the government ebone kubakoraho tubone twatereza NCA chaba wabunama wazihayo mpora omanye ngo ihanga ni woriyo no yongera kurita
EMPIKAHOONA
rekeraho manyungu amagara ngakira ubururu kandi ubururu numba numurunda ngo mburabe mukwebembera abantu konka tukubeita entarone zacyo kuronda karuru nko kufana ukira nga obuhereza tukuba burunda obuhereza burgar hanga ngume muzeyo hanga kwara korabyemu kurotara bamubire ejo yabyita time yawe
esente za service delivery nizishohoze bwazhandikwa no mu rupapura hatamo amuhakaniza kega kuzihandika mu rupapura ataho release muzitaho izo beri kurara released nibwo bakurara bazigabinde ushanga kanso ya district stage izo bajya ngo release ngayi babanze bashitamaka kunga becika samu hayo mbara ninga kai bakirugaho beta kanso iriye yona batamu parani esente bazigabana zikwaho bazitema zo baceza kutema abantu abamo batematemera sente eziba kubohereza barenga kuzitema na office hariho umushaba w'umunyankore nagamba nabo bakabagira ururimi rwabo urwo kurya bakajya ngo riro mu office ureke kurya office ko wariya office nevaho ubura n'icyo wari nico kibiriho mu za district
program tuhanure buri rwa mukaga aha UBC West EMPIKAHOONA
akasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA Hulira karijito kemanzi omuchisha hachakacheka omukasiki ka UBC West EMPIKAHOONA abantu baburengerwiza bamwena okuno mugisha kwanyu UBC West yagabura ekwatanisize na Leo Establishment Uganda Limited yabaretera kasiki omuchisha hikacheka nigo mazima
ebiri 13 yo kwezi ko kubanza 2024
tanikana na shayi ibiri zakasheshe okurya okunywa ebyemizano nko mupira za sakasi emizano y'abana hamwe n'abeshongozi nyamwingi yona aha mutwaro gumwe bwonka wotaferwa nyabura kwetabo mu mpaka zo kuhangura ebirabo nk'emotoka za pichi amagari amasimu ente embuzi t-shirts enkofira n'ibindi n'ibingi munonga eki nekibonomwe yegayita hari UBC West Empikahona akasiki ka UBC West Empikahona kwena tushemereirwe UBC West yagabura omucisha ikacheka
2013 yo kwezi ko kubanza 2024
wotaferwa nyabura
ndi Agreba Russia station manager wa UBC West Empikahona turyaha ha Garut Road Boma ndenda kukurisya ba staff ba UBC West Empikahona habwo kwika harigeri izoba narishi abo kwika mu rwo bubwire bwo kumaririza umwaka no kwika mu Christmas narishi nohire 2023 ndenda kubebaza munonga abo kugira ngo mwakozere namani kureba ngo radio yitu yaguma eyemerireho ndenda kwendeza abantu mwena ihimuri ababasize kuhurikiriza UBC West Empikahona ntabasize kugamba izina harindi ba chairpersons babahurikiza mwena ihimuri kandi mu muringo go mutano management ya UBC yona eyebembirwe MD witu omwami Winston David Agaba na supervisor wanje Doreen Ndezi mwe bari munonga kurangu mwarebire radio yitu yagumira agenda mu misho kandi eyinamani turaguma twebembire abandi barakutukuratira mu muringo ogundi ndenda kusima munonga abantu bona clients ababasize kuranganitwe abaresire birango abakozere nitwe programs abizire kapanalists narishi abajenyi bitu baburijo abo mu program ya tuhanure karishorisho akatakweba nahandi hona mwebare munonga mwayemerizeho UBC West Empikahona kandi turabasima tutine bugarukiro ndenda nsime munonga kanyendeze mawe cinzara nohiri nunji no mwaka musya okwe muri chikole kabare Jovent abarusya yebare kunzara kandi ndakwendeza obuhanguzi yabo rataha mu mwaka musya gwe 2024 ndenda kushwanyije usi abahurikiriza mwena ngu UBC West etebekanisizeyo ekintu cyo kubasa kuguma kiraturundarunda kandi abahurikiza nibo bacebembire bijana mani minji ba leta akasiki kabahurikiriza ba UBC West Empikahona akasiki kabahurikiriza karija kubaho 2013 byo kwezi ko kubanza 2024 rero tubase kwakira burgomwe ataheje mu mwaka kandi turija kuba twinebera abonyamwinji harimo amamotoka harimo pichipichi harimo amasimu harimo za screen za TV za radio nebindi binji munonga mwene chamani iwogume ha UBC West Empikahona rero oronde yo mutwaro gwa wogu kumwe gonka oyije oze mukasiki kabahurikiriza ba UBC West Empikahona 2013 byo kwezi ko kubanza 2024 mukama abebembere kandi abaherezo mugisha yabaturataha mu mwaka musya
UBC West era kwisaba program tanure jihamireho otungo kumanyisibwa ko mutano kandi okwamazina
yes yabare guma radio yihanga UBC West Empikahona program meje ntanure ntuyija tucenchura ubwongo tuganira konkani wentu wantwena ngo gire cyo wagamba namwene ndamasomo gatandaka kwaka abantu nindeba ngaka nyoko kuteresa umanya hu waterera nindeba kisoro erimunetera kabare erimunetera o bushenyi erimunatera bweniwe ko kutandika otunyomba nakimanyire yabare guma radio yihanga turonto gamba okutwa kubasa kurebera ibintu bya plastic omuyihanga ryitu twahirize kumanya ngo harimo kahango twabereberera kubi kuko mishwaho Kenneth Nkomahango mu gihe kinaza kutwereka birunje byakubasa kurgamu na munonga twaba tureberireje ibintu bita bya plastic ningashika sasro mukantu wenda kusima iwe oturikirize online kurugombi cyo kapitali mu byihanga arabari intoroko baturikirize banywana banje barubundo buryo bansinikira butumwa hangu je washituriyo ntukotaburro a TikTok yabare eco masango mu Burundi gukorwa kasese bwakere ndabasima tine bugacura bwo kuturikiriza nango nabuhweju nayo baturikiriza haza mwena mwijo mukasichikite 2013 rubirizi ni mwana bareba muturikirize hamwe na shema abanyabushenyi mu mwaka wa takati kandi abanyarwampara mwebare kurga moizi kaza rugando kaza ndeija nyabikungu mwebare kukunda radio yanyu kandi no kurikiriza umwana wanyu. Radio Age no radio yihanga turi akashoze boma umurimo mbarara. Rero kandi abantu bambarara city mureke twezoza misho turwanise Kasasiro tube cyo kureberaho kirungi nambarara district kandi abantu bantungamo naranga umuturikirize hamwe na Kisoro Bucimbiri Rubuguri nimba kunda munonga mwe wari kunda radio yanyu kandi umufumbira witu God Dr. Yaha ni mangu mwashemerwa ku muhuro mu program Age mukira ku muhuro mu program z'abafumbira konka hati yeisha abacotera ni munabareba muturikirize abagenya Kenneth ni ngambara abantu baturikirize cotera eturikirize hamwe na Rakai hamwe na Ryantonde aroho Orkarungu district na baturikiriza hamwe na Masaka kandi abaciruhura ni mu mwaka wa takati hamwe na Kazo cuma kazani ibanda na munonga cishizo mu rusozi na Kamwenje yona baturikirize Cegegwa Cenjojo Kakumiro na Kagadi hamwe na Cibare nangwa na Masinde na Cikube bona baturikiriza hamwe na Bunyangabo mwe bari kunda radio yanyu mwe ntwenda kure cyo kwenda gamba terezo bwenje twaza kurebera tebintu ebi ntwenda akwato hore bitekateko byanyu abantu bita baturikirize nabamanya itwa kubasa kutandikira noto mushaje mukaga 5 emwe ina 3 emwe na note 2 note mwenda note 5 munana mushanju ninga sindiko butumwa aha WhatsApp aha note mushaje mukaga 5 emwe ina 5 mukaga kature cyo rugamba
Hello
ego sebo
nakora mutasebo
nashimirwa kurra
yebaro kukora je
yebare
no mugurisi rwamba gwerire NOC chairman wabakirenzo begombora ya Bukiro Kashari.
Yes
yenda kusimba entwiga ya Uganda no manyeri ya Kashari akaryanga akagera nkashare kamutere binyasi okana kimanyangu ngo Kashari nosi owataki Uganda okutegeka yo ninko kuwa kutere nanka kituru mwenu konka niyenda kusima dokta yasoboraje ahabo kuba mwenu Kasasiro obuvera obwo bucupa mu Uganda tubukuza kurugama haba atakagireho kiragiro nke cya Rwanda no manya obine kiragiro cyurire nko ku entwiga ya negamba baba taka kwasire ogo washanga yemerire akavera nara akacupa Kasasiro tekuza abo kubona hata hindi mwene nyowe ndiyarwajwe nguto kandi ntwire n'amaduka burkavera burkasasire yona abantu kubagambira bakahura mwene abamemba parliament bitwabwa nangwa nimba sima konka araba takutiyamba konka kuba kutiyamba bakahindura mberagiro ngo kwentwiga yagamba entwiga ni nsima kandi otiyambere ntwiga yabaro munyakashari kandi mani nsima otiyambere nambwenu konka bwenu abatamanya babishenyankengo kuba kutumanya bakakunago mu parliament enseje Rwandeje katerera mwenu kuba kuhindura ekiragiro nko kuyagamba Rwamba kwereka ndi akavera bakaba ninye bazaka fayitangwa ebe y'umutwaro etaba nyingi nashashoro umutware mirundi egebiri narapakareba nimba nakazamwireho umunyetegereza ebiragiro bya Uganda bikino bunafu buhango abo kwakundi kuzo murimba ro mutangara kundi kuza bushenye ntangara umuntu nanyo haraji bakiyaho haraji giyo papara bitu bakasiga ubwo bucupa abakozereza factory abakutebe hangwa amane geciza abo babire binyu munonga abo kuba kubataho cyagiro cyo kubakwata tukwakira teganya mugurisi Rwamba gwerire NOC
yabara munonga omugurisi Rwamba gwerire terese muniza kuchkwata ala yego sebo
mwene kabukika UBC West Rirota
ndireje sebo
nakusemerwa
yabare
kandi nasemerwa nababo ino mu studio na munonga entwigejo mwenu halo
nkurire gumuza mahamu
ekintu cha nanke kimana mugamba cha buhangwa na plastics na nebya Kasasiro abantu bingi tukumanya mugaso gwa Kasasiro hatuwaza kureba ukareba nk'etawuni mbarra yo no kweri wakiriza kasasiro ya mbarra yo no ukagihindura ikaba maniwa agaranga abantu nibatandika kugira ubwigane ntoke n'emyanya netebekana kunka abantu tukimanya nk'uko entwiga yaba negamba mbwenu nyowe ninsaba gavumenti yongere kureba munonga cities ezo nangwa bagure n'emyanya yo kurundanda mu kasasiro rero ihanga ribashe kugira obusinge abo kuba kasasiro nayo kwirira n'abantu nibarwara nzeze ndwara zo kumwinika bukika zo kuba nogamba zitahirira abantu omuntu ebintu birya amugende nibinuka abantu bari mu nzu ate ibintu usanga byabakora kure bitu nanjye natakutana n'abandi nanye ndi amuhigo gwo kurwanisa kasasiro iyo bareseho bwana kabukika
yabaromboreza hamu alo okina mugisha gwo gamba mu program eji a radio yihanga UBC West Empikahona abo turi kuhereza n'ebiteekateko okutwakwasa kutebekanisa kurungi kasasiro na munonga ebintu bya plastic nza kwata isimi ibiri zonka ndiye tugaruka mu studio ala
Empikahona
egosebo
mwene kabukika mwebare program n'abakora bwa leta abo
yabare kuteresimu
oguno bano gamba ona mukunda ne asafu mwine cy'umuru kugabwiriye zo kikakendo muri shema kokanyowe okukira kimwashonga indeba ngo kwenda kurwanisa okusise byo bangwa na munongo kunagizura bya kasasuro ebyo buri muntu aseme kumanya umwuga gwe nyo muntu waburizo seme kumangwa kacipana akabugana akatorotore nkatwara umwanya gwako government aseme kukuretera abantu bucket na kine myanya yo kugira ngo nakatorotora mbwe nayi nakata dera abantu igariane gamba ba PhD na aba science baseme gukora research bakaturetera industries kurebuka ngo akakinatortora kagira ikahikira police naki no bateho mwoga kugira ngo barebe umuntu nanage kintu mburyo butakire kana nakimanguru mutikikire nabo bamujandre bitwaguma mu byoro rwanzu rwantoro kuntoro kumazima twiza kumaraho asigara kansigare atiwe mwine kabukika yuwe ogwo wakora abukuba wareta abahangu bazo mu studio batwegesa atwakimanya ogwo gwawa atugwasigariza bwa PhD nanyo muntu waburizo na no polisi na government okuturetera bucket naki mukunda ne asafu mwine kimuri kurgabiriyo zo kikakindo shemo rucwamba reka ngumyo
yabara rucwamba tinko na jiringo nakucinjira ala ndirege sebo ryoha
banyitambulo kurga mukukashe
norgangahe
mukukashe ko
Chitagata yes Shema district yes gumizamu
wabare kureta bakurabo atwaza argeje tumwa abantu mugambaho overa na neza factory batakiho bicupa atakiho zero kuzandu kwera overa kasasiro tubakubasa kujumbaza nonga
yabaresebo omunyamugisho ndijo noha rero tukabasa kwendera utagira ngo umwina kabukika yakucinjira ariho ara yes yabare kuteresa muryoha
ubu ni umusinyoza abakanyarwanda
uri ngai
ndahamwe
ngai
umurutani mbarra
gomezamu
ati waba nuhurekereza umukuru w'insiga na saundi ya defiance kuko nina ngetegereza mungu mbabata kumitegereza atwahiririwe twazire ba research tubahurekeze ibintu bibataruro ubutetoroza abanyarwanda research negera ngo ebizibu byari tari by'urucupa buri mwaka buri onka ahabwe kibiremireho byababiremireho icyakubata kurwanya icyabo kuko ayo bagambere benyere magezi uri public yayo guzigo kuba kugira batambara nibavugana umuntangiro para ine target yabo ne baje ikirere wataka kugenda cyabashishira niki tumwe gashe miriko bana gura bamani zo zaba kumire should aza sine enforcement abariko kuza ubushobozi kimire kuri bakora babazokiza abari batugambira rero abihana ari kushembayo bagendera aha research yabo nk'abantu basomye
yabare munonga arabasinduka butumwa kanjira munashumuho kake ubwo nagira Lawrence from Kakoba Rwentondo ni inchirizana n'intwiga ngo ebintu binje birukorerwa aha abantu bita bari yahato bakubukora ntibiyahere tubapangisa bakore mbazana n'ibindi nkando butini professors bari yaha abashomera science and technology ngo ejo nikimanyisa ki ayihanga ryitu kasasire igitwa ku bintu batwera kurugamo ibintu byinji ubwo bakwatanise nabakenesa nabandi weyasinduka butumwa na Lawrence kandi unajanga Josh, thanks for the program. Uganda is blessed to have such professors and intelligent personnel like Kenneth. Only if they can put in practice their intelligence. Let them not just talk to impress the person viewing them on Zoom. Let them put in action and make a difference. Thanks. I'm Amina Birunji, Roshoz Shema at Hurikizari Zoom. Morning Josh, nanabajenyabo ino mu studio. Nashemererwa konka okurwanisa obu ekintu cha plastics ticho muntu omwe twera tukabire ntuhereza nebera mukono konka kizibuno kugira ngo eberagiro eberoho byonka nebe nafu ahabwenki parliament etakongera mu kubinozya ekata hwente ekateka yo kuyama ibintu bingi om plastics na munonga nko mu mashomero hamwe n'amatende cyaragahiguro tumusime Gerard Tinako ari micerere cyabandara kaboheshe mu municipality Shema district arawasi niko butumwa ari kisoro najya ngumwe bari kuturikiriza kandi ngo yashemerwa abo kurikiriza Dr. Gadi ningira ngo naza kubanyemerire mu kace abanyakisoro mwe bare Dr. Gumeno je mu program eji akabantu nareba kisoro yatanga yijana mani mingi namunanga bo kubagambira rufumbira mwe twazaga ko kace mu studio nyenda kutanaka na Kenneth arho ebwana ndakongeraho namunonga okutwa kubasa kongera mani omukorebere ibintu biti bya plastic kandi ogumizemu otushoborere ebirunje bya kubasa kurgamo okuyena ngo amwerwa byo na turebe plastic says nka business
ate ninza kugezaho kusamarizinga ninza kugezaho kusamarizinga konka nimbanza kuza kutomu rujungu for the benefit of those people who are listening in English. This I know online we have mayors and town clerks across the country. Others do not understand Runyankore, our local language. There are people in the US, there are people in the UK, our colleagues and partners. I want to first thank Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development that have been working closely with us. NEMA, National Environment Management Authority, International Crane Foundation for Preservation of Cranes in Uganda and Wetlands, Mbara High School, Mbara City Council, Ankole Western University, Bishop Barham University College, Kabateri Memorial School, and several media houses, Kingston University in the UK. And I want to thank UBC. The first time I appeared on a talk show on Uganda television was 2003. The campaign, seriously, I started in 2003 on media. But on the ground, I started in 2000 here in Mbarara with Public Health Department. This year is my 23rd year in the sector of waste management. Now, there are key issues I want to say. First of all, I want to bring out this, that local government has the mandate to handle garbage. What are they doing? I think we are speaking to them to wake up and do something now. I'm going to be very open. Garbage is a problem because we are not putting waste management systems in place. The government has put laws in place, but there is laxity. I'm glad that Urban Authorities Association is in the know. The communication has gone to, and many people are listening to the radio and online. We have guidelines of solid waste management of Uganda of 2010. Page 58 and 59 clearly mentions how we are supposed to separate waste, and actually there is a directive from the minister and the PS, and we've done nothing about it. Ministry of Health, I'm in touch with the Commissioner Environmental Health, and I want to shock the public, those who don't know. The report from Ministry of Health in Environmental Health Department indicates that over 80% of the diseases we suffer in Uganda as a result of poor management of the environment. What is the problem? Why are we not focusing on preventive measures? Why are we waiting for people to get sick? We know the source. If we became serious on management of the environment, we would reduce the cost of payments in the hospitals. All this we are watching. Now, what kills me is the issue of banning of waste everywhere. We have Public Health Act of 1964. So it has been there. It is lying there. We have Plastics Pollution Treaty. Recently in Nairobi, there was a third meeting. We are signatories to international treaties against banning as Uganda. We have National Environment Waste Management Act. Actually, NEMA is the only institution that gives permission to people to do banning, but we do banning. Actually, it is illegal to ban, because even the Constitution of Uganda clearly states that we are entitled to live in a clean and healthy environment. So any act against my constitutional right as a Ugandan is a crime, and it is punishable by the laws. The members of parliament help us because you understand the Constitution of Uganda well, and you are representing the people. Actually, at one time, I'm being triggered to come in as a member of parliament for our city, so that I can get a floor in parliament and address certain issues. I have met MPs 3 times. I've been in parliament. At one time, I even appeared on the front page of the papers. Now, those are things that just excite. We must be seen to be practical. Now, on plastics, to be particular, of course, we are an agriculture-based country. If we dealt with plastics, most of the waste that will remain is organic, and there are many benefits, but because of limited time, we will not go into this. I want to summarize. Abori nyankole ninza kuhindura abini interpreters numuza kunanka mawo kube mwebiri technical ninza kugezaho kurabya mu ombintu ebutwetenga kumanya. Now, nka Pluawaste ninyenda kuhamya bine abahwira masiko ngutare kitwakozere nabagira nguturba member ba Uganda Manufacturers Association nebintu byinji ebitukozire ebyo ntuza kubagambira abo kuba hine ebintu byinji munonge mwetu byinaho mu studio. So don't get worried. We are going to show you what we are doing. We are not theorists. We are practical. We are practical. The first recycling industry in Uganda came in 2006, late 2006. It's now a subsidiary of Coca-Cola Beverages. I was their training consultant at their inception, training people on plastics management. So I've walked the journey for quite some time in the subject of plastics, not only here in Uganda, but also in Rwanda. Now, I want to briefly talk about misuse of plastics because before I tell you about better plastic waste management practices, you may underestimate what is happening. Some people, among the bad habits, flying toilets, people put feces in plastic bags and throw them. Now, because of lack of toilets, supervision, where are the health inspectors when people are throwing this? Because they are supposed to be pit latrines. Some people build latrines near anti-malaria channels, and they just remove the plastic cavera, the plastic bag, from the pipe. Here in Kisenyi, in Imbarara, we know when they are constructing latrines along riveries, people and anti-malaria channels, they just distance, they put the pit latrines near. Now, that is part of poor waste, but I was talking about plastic waste. People urinate in plastics, and other people pack porridge and juices and other drinks in empty bottles that are dirty. At one time, I was in Kampala and I was alerted people were powering urine out of mineral water empties, packing porridge for people. They are down in Kisenyi and the surrounding areas. I was told that a team in Mulago, doctors who researched that if one has tuberculosis and used that mineral water empty and you also put it on your mouth, you're going to get that transfer of illnesses. Now, we are addressing real issues that we are talking about. Open banning of plastics and other waste. Now, it is clear every time you see smoke, these are particulate matter, it's particles getting together when you see smoke. Now, these affect several illnesses. The list is big. I did research on plastic waste management. Took me 5 years of research with comparative analysis between Rwanda and Uganda to come up with a book publication which is also being used in universities because I'm a non-fiction academic author. So these are issues that have been clearly brought out in our books. Now, I want to mention people who pack popcorns, hot popcorns and G-nuts in plastic bags. You will see these things remaining on the foods we eat. So this is a danger because eating plastic is not food. This color is not food color. We need to understand these are chemicals. Issues of cooking with plastic. Some people are using plastics for cooking food. We are not mindful of health. We are thinking of our anger. There are issues of cooking in plastics. Many hotels are putting food in plastic bags. Way back in 2000, when we were working closely with public health, the public health officials used to power food for people who used to cook in plastic bags, including these sacks. These are PP and woven bags, so these are also plastics. Hot things in plastics are wrong. Baby feeding bottles, getting to know the right baby feeding bottle. So these are cases now. The final one on misuse of plastics that I want to make mention of is PVC plastics. Now you see PVC conduits for electrical installation. When you get plastics have densities. Now when you get a small piece of plastic and you press it on top of water, if it sinks in a glass, then that's the right type of plastic. So we are having cases of people whose houses are being put on fire, burned because of short circuits and the rest. So how can you tell before you buy the plastic conduit on the market? You just see, to protect yourself and proper use, get the type of plastic, put it in water. If it floats on water, run away. This has been made out of HDPE, even if they call it PVC. So it is important for people to be guided and know. I want to stress out this issue because if I leave this studio without telling you the dangers, you will continue doing these same things. I want to stress out many schools, when they catch fire and you cannot control, several of them are using wrong conduits, and we need government to intervene. Close down these factories that are making conduits that are dangerous. Simple test to go in the market. You are here listening. Pick a small conduit. If it floats on water, just to know what they are doing is wrong. If it sinks, PVC, the specific gravity is 1.35. Those who have studied sciences to understand. Now, getting to what do we do? Better plastic waste management practices. 1. Sorting of waste for value addition. No. Talking of, I need to really summarize. There are many important things we need to get out. I know time is running out, but there are things that people need to understand. The reason we've come here is educative, and we need to bring out particular issues here. We have solid waste management guidelines for Uganda. Page 58 and 59 shows that we need to do sorting of waste for value addition. Now, unless, like what my colleague, the lawyer, Moses, was talking about, if the local governments do not put efforts to put up sorting facilities at the dumping site, it doesn't make sense for the garbage trucks to carry waste when they don't have separators. The whole system must work from generation up to disposal. Then we need to involve the transport sector in buses. Nema the other day talked about dustbins, and it ended there. So people are littering on the road. We have cameras. Traffic police should probably take it as an offense. We have issue to incorporate this in school curriculum, that we must be seen to be very intentional on incorporating this in the school curriculum, so that people get a learning of these aspects. Then we need to promote environmental education in all sectors, which must be very intentional. That we get to sensitize the people non-stop in all sectors. If it is not intentional, then we are not going to achieve, because you cannot stop talking. We have to keep talking until we see a change. And I believe the authorities are listening. Indeed, I'm overwhelmed by this. I try my best. Actually, 90% of our profits, I think URA has been asking themselves why I don't pay a lot of taxes. Most of the money I give back to the public. I think I'm the only organization in the world that gives over 90% of our profits back into the public, yet we are money-making organization. So all our resources have been put into that to sensitize the public, and here we are calling upon other partners to also come and take on. Beginning with the next year, I also want to start to save for my family. Then viewing plastic waste as a business, as change of mindset is important. If we cannot see, like my colleague was saying, that there are benefits that people are looking at, we need to look at plastic waste as a resource, because people make a lot of money out of plastic waste. Involvement of religious leaders and local leaders. I know people are watching, listening. Religious leaders, please tell the people to stop littering. It is very important. Tell them to stop banning. But that is if you have moral authority to talk about it. You may be a leader, but you yourself, you're banning and doing wrong things. It's important, but we believe that religious leaders and local leaders are important to do this. Then training of local authorities also must be very intentional. Now, this is one of the approaches. We must be intentional on creating an opportunity for training for the local council leaders. Then we have extended producer responsibility. Now, this is where I want to thank Coca-Cola, among others. They have established a recycling factory and set up centers for collecting plastics from the environment. Let other plastic producers follow suit. That is where you follow what you've already thrown in the environment. It's called extended producer responsibility. It's the responsibility beyond the normal responsibility of the processor. Then polluter pay principles, sustainable public awareness, and practical waste management lessons to the infants. The children are our future, and if we destroy them with this, then we don't know where we're heading. We must involve the infants at the lower level, encouraging school debates, promoting community participation using behavior change communication. My colleague Dr. Ruzaza and the university, they are doing a lot in behavior change communication, and they understand this. And finally, school clubs as medium of communication and transformation of academic theory into practical. Moses was talking about it. Transforming academic theory into practicals, meaning that we need to get to another level where we transform what we are doing into practical things. Thank you very much.
Kenneth, I want you to give us your last remarks and say bye to our people, and if possible, you wish them Merry Christmas and end of the year as we conclude the program.
The way I want to give our last remarks is to show that these plastics, with our partners, we cut them into these pieces you're seeing. We make different items, dustbins of different sizes, as you can see. We make different dustbins that we can provide. So for people need to know the things we do. There are brooms that we are making, long-lasting brooms. And I must say, of course, there is a lot that we've been doing. And as I conclude, I must say we have a plan for addressing this. One, environmental crusades at LOC level for Mbarara District and Mbarara City, beginning with January next year, 2014. We'll come down to the village, give a full day per LOC one village to sensitize you on these matters. Then we have a training for the youth between 8th and 12th of December. We have a training. We will begin with 100 youth. We are going to put announcements. It is payable 150,000 for 6 days. Then we'll recruit them. We have a plan of recruiting up to 500 youth in the sector of plastics to address this. And finally is that I encourage people as we go for the festive season, please let us stop banning. I know official communication is going to come to you people, institutions, because we are going to put this in writing this coming week. The issue of banning is unhealthy, and it must be put to an end for the sake of our people and the health. I wish you a happy Christmas, my family, to my wife, my children, and our friends that are listening. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Dr. Gad.
Ninyenda kutwara mu gishogo kwebaza Kenneth na UBC EMPIKAHOONA umukitinisa cya buryomwe kutweta kandi tukafuna umugisha murungi aha go kuganira kintu kikuru cyakavera n'imitwarize yitu era twisi yabusinguze. Ninyenda kwebaza government n'emirimo yayo kandi nyibaze abatera amasimu abuko bagambaje asafu wagambaje ngo murimo mu muhango tokagumara wenka nahabwe conyine ibintu bina byo naza kuhendera nabyo ico kubanza from theory to practice nangwa okushoma ko ne tushomire kandi tushoma konka itu yabambara university tukasharamo kuba university yo mutano kandi tukisimira ruhanga ninyenda kwebaza intwiga ya twegitaho nambwene nyowe nkoko Kenneth ya Ikirembara University tukamuhereza ikirasi niwe ije tukwereza ikirasi ukwatanise nitwe oreke kutujo mafura kandi tubyo mutime
buryo mutime mwe ayija tandike kushomesa
ata ashomesa uko nibyo tutwirene tugamba kandi nibyo turi gukora
ebare
point number 2 nagamba cyo kugira ngo tokakore kintu cona wenka kurunji which I call the common good haraba bingi bari kujya ngo basa kwika businguzi wenka konga ekiti kikubaska nabweco uburunji bwawe nko muntu bukore uburunji bwa buryomwe habwo kuba tukaba umusinguzo uri wenka eki cyanyijisa kwebaza movement habwo kuba na natana kushobora ibirunji bibireho namarwaro ngoko geyongire noko site by the way yebire mpango kwebire mpango twatandika kuremwa kurebera ki na twaza kwereza next example za handi hona konge bitu byabigambaho ubundi bwiri cha muheru akavera kabira kavera konka nkoko mwabireba butunu Kenneth we akavera naje kukashanga mu bugiga nitwe twiheriye kugumana twongera mani nitumwegesa nitureba ngo otara hukiriza kuzomo bwa member parliament kandi bakakuta isente zo tibiri habwo ko wafunere ikintu cyo bugiga gumizamo neco ufune PhD kandi ugambe n'urunyankore n'izindi ndimi mwumvisa bafumbira ko mbaramukije tumanye buri kimwe cona twego ruswahili tumeyendereye mbere tuzo muntunguka tufune nanka twegita government habwo kuba umurimo muhango ni gukwatanisiza
yenda z'abafumbira Christmas rungi no kutana kumaka umusiya umuyorere
akarango mwara kansabye kari kugenda imbere ntawe ndenda gushirana igihe kinini if you want to reach far
ngagamba urufumbira
ni burenda kugera kure cyane genda nabandi kandi nibera urenda kugenda vuba genda wenyine reka dufatanyirize hamwe reka tukwatanise mwe bari munonga happy Christmas mugire ibiro bikuru birungi kandi mukanca bakarangu nakabahereza so nakomaho
mwebare entwiga
katukumira amashi
urakoze cyane
entwiga ni indandaci ayiwasigera abanyumunya Uganda
no manya ato obuzubo buruhaha mu Uganda government tekutana sumuntu inamagezi na no inurigizigizi kunangwa abamagezi ato kogo Kenneth kamureba tukirumba high school akari umwana ubwenge na hatakibwine kunangwa mwejo nsa akagire ebiya egesa kandi akagira byakwatanisa nabo icyo kikabirege so answers nyenda kugendera yo rucwamba hari watera yajya ngo mu rucwamba aza namukunda
urucamba rw'empikahona
ahubwo kuba we yagamba nkaba nka abakristayo bari abakujwara t-shirt ihandikiro Jesus is the answer buto bakwenda kumanya problem bubine answer yo problem yo ngendo zimanye konka bomba mayangu Jesus is the answer so we are the answer naji summarizing yagamba public private partnership ya jangu government ngu university ngu na government bunu keje ya local government eje state yambara state begite na naba ba private sector ba Kenneth abane kurera jange ngu bakore ikintu kimwe ekikuruga mu kiko basa kutwera okucendeza kasasaro hati aburjungu tugeta public private partnership so nkahenwa cyati nkamwarga ha doctor zaza muzo wa head of department urukwato ho in the university if he doesn't know him introduce him hatu mutandika kusharinga concepts
kandi nizo mu head of department
tindi kumanya
umutabani wa Museveni mukuru wanje by the way tindi mutabani we hati nyone nizo wa head of department uyu mugabura uzedu guhereza umurimo
hurra manya so nyonyo I am proposing answers ndi umuntu wa nakuja ngutisha tenjuye neje ngo Jesus is the answer tingwenda kumanya problem so hatu kumara heze okwata na Kenneth hatu mugende hamwe muzomuroko government wakachebezi no kireba mugire formere yemwe yo kurwanisa kasasiro omuri mbararasti hatu mwenu emirimo yimwe no kora ni mihango konka mugire esatane area ebe ya case study ugire tumwenu kuko kubanoza kuhinga kartusi konka kagira wahuhira kartusi ekaba na sarebedi noja kwisha ku transplantinga bwanyuma konka hatigira yiwatandikira hagire cyakurwa bakirebe ikindi kumanya mbara university yo yine budget ato Kenneth yine budget yakugira ngo nakora business nakasente cyo no bwene kahuyero mbantu konka nakora business weta yine budget nkimbara university yine bara university yashaba sento bayashabeza Uganda yaba yashabeza abajungu nezitunka kandi aha stekanso ije yambarara we meya we sente na wazine we na budget na wagizirata aginde bote yine budget no konko bwenge agizirata abwine so ati nyonte nsangu mugende mukwatanise kubuturuza garikaho tweze program ndijo tobwire ndiyaba nimba cumite vuzo ebyakumwari jamwakora ki ache barzaza tingwende mbozi yo gamba tukagenda tekutuyamba ubwenge tubwine kunka tubuyambira ihanga so ekingwende nyene ngutugarika mukamanje moderator tuyije banjure kozereki rero kumurabe numwenda ubwezi bwitu baroya bakona nyini bandi bizo mirimo yanjye obwo ntuyija kureba ka contribution kanje
aho muzameza
konko omuntu wabutosha while that one is being done
tokabaza kuchikora kundire
nchenda sente nchenda budget nobo kunzire konko yinemu no kireba no reba ari omushijo wamanoku tinkumanya abatoyana bamanya bamweta sa Richard Kishuka ubutabe cyo musekendra kayisimbiro ko shema akabuze kibuzo kira fundamental akaja ngo no base utakora yo musagazo yawo konka otine mutwaro mu mpare no kireba toyine mutwaro mu mpare konko ryo musagazi nkakireba nachevaru wetigara ngo gumushisha akana nayigesa eminyeto okuba mushija so no basa kugira ubwenge ugira ibiteketeko birungi konko yine budget uyine sente zo kubikiriza mbweno ubwo bwariyo private sector bwatine sente zo kubikiriza ebyo university ruho na state council na yeruho bakwatana se batwefomera konko ebyo bitaka hikira umuntu wabutosha atko 17 1G na atko yashata na mwenda nzigambe kintweki ngubura umuntu wena ayine kureba ngo mugenzi we yatura in a clean and healthy environment. In fact duties of yone article 17 1G yone jangu no muntu mugwawo kutondaho ubuhango burungi kandi riyegira ngo giro bujunanzi bwo gukore unanka tiyazo mubuhangwa bibi ahabwe mikorere yawe mibi mazima muri Yesu kukuru enungi eyihorere kandi umwaka umusya twabendeza umurungi
yabarento enda kusima umwami tumusime Kenneth ayimbisibwe regional team leader Pluawaste Consult Limited abwa Rwanda na Uganda twenda kusima Dr. Gad Rusaza senior lecturer Mara University of Science and Technology abwo bwire bwawe kandi umunyaberagiro Moses Nwagaba Entwiga twenda kusima Alex Akamburira yabare na timu yona ya UBC West EMPIKAHOONA abwa program nungi twagenda twikirizine ngo twena no muntu mugwa buryo umwe kwereza ne mukono kureba ngo twarwana sakasasoro tweje okutwakubasa kukoresa ibintu bya plastic kuyame ibintu birungi nkebe Kenneth yatumurikiraha no kugira ngo yiwe ubundi wotaraha mukutendejo ya Facebook na nahandi na Twitter ko na TikTok konka itwabo abarwe mu studio twarebe ibintu binji kandi birungi kandi zagaragana tumushaba ngo agome naija kandi ko kuyaja ngo naza kuzombyara nakushesherayo urebe ibintu bari gukora nango niyo kabugura ninga kuhereza ubwenge uko wakubasa kubyekorera Josh Muhanji mwene karukigali na makwine kankwendeze weekend nungi tegereza amakuru gaitu omuri nyankore rukiga runyoro rutoro. Bye bye.
waba ukurikize program tuhanure aha UBC West Empikahona utaferwa kutwegitaho orwa mukago rukwija aha shahanizo zumwe.